let me give you more reasons to follow the homie Sil for the latest news, scoops and moves he's about to reveal. From coffee talks to special brews, I'm out of burgers for meals. A cup of bourbon with that tea that's about to get spilled. Like, what's the latest word? Yo, Sil, we need to know. Tell us what you heard, yo, Sil, we need to know. The ins and outs, who's walking out, buying in, we need to know. Your thoughts on what's new, what you do to stream a hell of a show. Let's go, take out your pen and paper, sit down and take notes. Sil is the realest among imposters, scavenging cutthroats. So, what's the latest word, yo, Sil, we need to know. Tell us what you heard, yo, Sil, we need to know. The ins and outs, who's walking out, buying in, we need to know. Your thoughts on what's new, what you do to stream a hell of a show. Let's go. One of a show, let's go. Between DC and Marvel, they both have a startle. Disney's moving finicky, let's not mention Star Wars. All these movie execs be drunk off their power, disconnected from the fans in the ivory towers. What's the latest word, yo, Sil, we need to know. Tell us what you heard, yo, Sil, we need to know. The ins and outs, walking out, buying in, we need to know. Your thoughts on what's new, what you do to stream a hell of a show. Let's go. When they keep making the same mistake, that's what you call insanity. They can't even acknowledge the self-inflicted calamity. What's the latest word, yo, Sil, we need to know. Tell us what you heard, yo, Sil, we need to know. The ins and outs, who's walking out, buying in, we need to know. Your thoughts on what's new, what you do to stream a hell of a show. Let's go. One of a show, let's go. Scoop Senator, coffee talks, also covering analytics, making his own reviews, cause it's always been the critics. They clout chasers, money driven, repeating the latest gimmick. Come over to Sil Nation where true vision is given. Listen, what's the latest word, yo, Sil, we need to know. Tell us what you heard, yo, Sil, we need to know. The ins and outs, who's walking out, buying in, we need to know. Your thoughts on what's new, what you do to stream a hell of a show. Let's go. Let's not forget Mikey's son, always special to the crew. From day one when him and Sil got together for special brew. What's the latest word, yo, Sil, we need to know. Tell us what you heard, yo, Sil, we need to know. The ins and outs, who's walking out, buying in, we need to know. Your thoughts on what's new, what you do to stream a hell of a show. Let's go. One of a show, let's go. I guess I'll finish on this note. When the niggas go flip mode, they turn gremlins, I'm Gizmo. Come for my people, my kinfolk. For them I ride for and kill for. With this till I'm skillful, it can really escalate till it all goes abysmal. What's the latest word, yo, Sil, we need to know. Tell us what you heard, yo, Sil, we need to know. The ins and outs, who's walking out, buying in, we need to know. Your thoughts on what's new, what you do to stream a hell of a show. I'm a watchman, forever vigilant, steady watching and listening, disciplined, militant, killing these dudes that started visiting. What's the latest word, yo, Sil, we need to know. Tell us what you heard, yo, Sil, we need to know. The ins and outs, who's walking out, buying in, we need to know. Your thoughts on what's new, what you do to stream a hell of a show. Let's go. One of a show, let's go.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. We back. Weekly show. It's Saturday. I have a Saturday actually free. Oh my goodness. So y'all know this is gonna be a mega show today. Dan gave me time to set up a show on a Saturday. Much love to Soul Nation. We are here, the weekly show. This is the WB Paramount Saudis DC Snyderverse weekly show. The beat keeps going on. Though people keep trying to talk against this deal. Not that we're like pro Paramount. Like that never was the angle of us pushing for Paramount. It is the relationships. It's the fact that the Saudis are bought into this Paramount deal. They are signed into it. And they're good with Zack Snyder. That's our angle to restore the Snyderverse, right? Was that our only angle? All of a sudden now, Warner Brothers, DeLuca and Abby are welcoming back Zack Snyder, giving him a hero's welcome. We got so much to talk about today, y'all. Y'all see the topics. First off, MCU X-Men. I was blown away by the castings. We're going to talk about that today. Great stuff. Potential with what Marvel could do with the X-Men for the next decade, right? DCU crumbling. Is the DCU dead? I mean, I think the expiration date is April 2027, but maybe we can fire James Gunn before then and usher in the next level of DC. DCU projects falling left and right. It's crazy right now. and that's leading into the Lanterns premiere tomorrow. I still got to figure out. I'm going to do like a live watch along. I'm going to figure out what platform I'm going to do that, because I'm free this whole weekend now. So I'm free to watch Lanterns tomorrow night. We're going to do some kind of stream, and we're going to talk about it, right? So just stay tuned. Stay tuned on that. I'm looking forward to that. So I've heard some interesting things about Lanterns. It's kind of mixed, but it's what we thought it was, right? Okay. The latest with Paramount WB again. We're weeding out all the unknowledgeable people that was wrong on every turn of this deal. You got the Netflix people, you got the political people, you got the gun and glazers, gunners, and, and they guzzlers as well. Like, they have been wrong every turn with this deal. We're here to give you all the real information with this. And Zack is back. Is he back? He's on the Warner Bros. lot. Is it going to be more after that? We shall see. Much love to Silver Nation in the chat. One time. I see Alex Clark, Warrior, what's good? Jovic, what's up with you? Nightmare, Alex. I said Alex Clark already. Wild Relic as well. Who had that first comment? I see Daniel. I see CY. Leroy, I see you in the chat. I'm trying to get to the top. Jovic had the first comment. All right, shout out to Jovic. Long-time supporter. You already know. We're going to talk about all this stuff for real. This is a mega ton of information coming to y'all today, because they gave me time to actually put up a show. Yeah, it's going down. It's going down today. So now with the X-Men, let's start with the X-Men real quick, because I always said my comic book fan journey, it starts with X-Men, the Jim Lee X-Men, right? You had to be there. Todd McFarlane Spider-Man, right? And then whatever Batman I can get my hands on. So that was me in the 90s, learning about comics. That was my trinity, is Batman, X-Men, Spider-Man, right? So I want X-Men to be done right every time. And, Fox was pretty mixed when they had X-Men. They had the 2000 X-Men, which really launched X-Men into, the current pop culture. And X-Men 2 was really good as well. Bryan Singer did the first two. And then after that, it got kind of wonky, right, with X-Men. It was hit or miss. X3 was a miss. They just tried to do a bunch of fan service. It was very weird how they approached that film. And then I felt like they bounced back, like with X-Men First Class, with Days of Future Past. Like, they had some peak moments with Fox X-Men. And then you had, the terrible Phoenix films, right? Anytime they did Phoenix, they failed. So I'm pulling for them. I like how they introduced Jean Grey in the biggest film of this decade, Spider-Man Brand New Day, right? That was a very good partnership Marvel has with Sony. You got Spider-Man, who's the greatest superhero of our time right now. More than Batman, Spider-Man is the greatest hero right now. And you introduce the X-Men in that film. Perfect business. Jean Grey, a raw origin, and she leveled up in the film. So now we're going to see what she does with the other mutants. I'm really excited for the future with that. We got a super chat off the top. DCU is DOA by the hand of MCU. Hey, it's nothing. It's crazy, because we're going to talk about all this. It's insane that DC owns all their IPs, all their characters. Marvel is splintered out. You got Spider-Man over here, Incredible Hulk over here. You got other ancillary things, the Rose Gallery of all them over, spread out. And Marvel was able to finesse this to be a big event. And when they make an announcement, now they own X-Men, right? So Marvel's going to eat for the next decade. DC, you already own Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman. All DC had to do was do a Wonder Woman film instead of Supergirl. And it would have been a different conversation. No matter what y'all felt about Superman 2025, it was not a blockbuster hit. But if you followed up with a Batman and or a Wonder Woman, that actually would have gave Gunn some room to breathe. And just, it shows the failures of the DC brand execs since the Suja Harbor era, they thought it was smart to force out a Supergirl film after a Superman film that did not supersede anything. The Superman, it was there. It was a cultural event as far as having a Superman film. You got grandmas and grandpas going to see Superman, right? Bringing their grandkids. So that's how you made your money domestically. But how do you follow that up with a Supergirl that no one recognizes? Or even before that, Peacemaker, you're doing mature shows on HBO. It's like, how did this become a thing that HBO was dictating that DC had to be mature always? It's like, no, like, if it fits the IP, great. But there are some family-friendly things with DC as well, too. Like, why does HBO have to be like everything Penguin? It's just insane. I blame Zaslav for that. I blame Zaslav, and he's going to be gone. It's time to wipe the slate clean of execs and really build DC right. So that's why we say fire James Gunn, fire Safran, all the legacy DC brand execs, because y'all been using the IP wrong, right? And now we got this Lantern series coming out, which I think tonally may not be what everyone wants. I'm talking about comic fans. The HBO crowd may like this Lantern show, and we'll talk about that more later, but I think it's going to be an uneven show, further showing why James Gunn is unfit to be an exec. I mean, that's really what it is. But long story short there, I mean, DCU, DOA because of MCU. Hey, MCU was like on their down spiral since 2019 after Endgame. 7 years. DC had, they came up with the Snyder Cut. AT&T, you were very smart. Announced the Snyder Cut 2020, come out 2021, but then AT&T sold off, right? At that point, DC had a chance right there. Finish Zack's story before Marvel figures out what they're supposed to be doing. Now Marvel figured it out. They're coming with 2 Avengers films, Doomsday and Secret Wars, in back-to-back years. And they got full control of the X-Men. It's over. Okay, it's over. DC, you got to scramble and get what you need to get right now because this game's over, right? I'm right now, as much as I'm giving Matt Reeves' Batman Part 2 a chance, I just saw what Spider-Man did. I know what Avengers is going to do. I know what X-Men is going to do. Hey, Reeves, let's wrap this up, right? Part 2, let's wrap this story up, and let's just clean this slate. Give us the Justice League film, Zack Snyder, and let's reboot all this DC stuff, man. Let's just do that, right? Shout out to Neo Sevens for the support. Let's see what we got in the chat real quick. And we're going to get into these topics. Dark Phoenix. Now, Dark Phoenix, what's homeboy? Fassbender, he's great as Magneto. Anytime he's in Magneto, he's great. But Dark Phoenix was a bad film, bro. That was a bad film. I need a supercut with just the Magneto scenes of Dark Phoenix. First Class was an amazing film. Yeah, that's it. Fox was hit or miss, right? Fox was hit or miss. Wait, hold on. Yo, hey, I'm going off the numbers, Jovic. I'm just going off the numbers. Spider-Man took over the world. It's over. Well, it's going to hit $2 billion probably after this weekend. After 3 weeks in the theaters, man. I'm just saying. Let's see. X-Men X2. Dark Phoenix. Like I said, Dark Phoenix, the writing was bad, in my opinion. The performances, again, by Fassbender was there. That's really the only redeeming moment for me in Dark Phoenix. It's a chore for me to watch that film. It actually is a chore. I think X3 is actually better than Dark Phoenix. It's more entertaining, but they're both bad films, man. They're both, in my opinion. Hey, you can like it. I ain't gonna. DCU Dead Cinematic Universe is there. It's dying. Yeah, First Class is great. That's a great film. Soy Man, y'all, wow. Okay, we caught up. Let's see. Zack was ahead of Marvel, but now way too much time has passed. Yeah, that was their moment right there. After Endgame, then AT&T says, okay, let's, because Endgame was 2019. Then in 2020, well, actually, at the end of 2019, Zack was campaigning, AT&T released the Snyder Cut, right? 2020, they announced it. You come out with the Snyder Cut. They should have put it in theaters, but a limited run, whatever, but okay. And then you should have completed Zack's stories there. You had that pocket of time. Like you missed out. 2017 should have been the real, the 214 cut, and then all the spinoffs and everything, right? In the face of Marvel, you would have had a real competition right there. But you missed out. Okay. After Endgame, Snyder Cut comes out. You should have finished Zack's story, do the Batfleck film or series. It's going to be a Batfleck series. Culture Nerd Taylor Murphy, I got that video on my channel where that was a big time where he was hearing a lot of stuff about Batfleck back then in 2020. He should have did a Snyder Cut, come up with the Batfleck series at that time, and then finish Zack's story. And then you would have been, set up for a true reboot. Now Marvel figured out what they need to do now, and then you would have been on par with that. But right now, it's all catch up. You're just playing catch up right now. And I'm talking about in the genre. It's not about, oh, you got to beat Marvel. No, it's like you should be getting money right now with Marvel. Like Marvel did Deadpool, Wolverine, doing numbers, right? DC, like you come with Superman, not a big blockbuster success. Then you should come with Batman, right? And then Wonder Woman. I'm just saying, Gunn, you had the blueprint right there, and you fumbled all that. You fumbled it. It's over. This DCU is over, right? We're gonna talk about all these cancellations they got going on here. You dropped the ball, and if you couldn't do Batman and Wonder Woman, this reboot shouldn't have happened at all. That's where I'm at with that. No, dude, Superman, Super Family Saga shouldn't have happened at all. Let's see where we at. Let's catch up. No, I'm with you. Like Jovic, like Batman is my favorite hero ever, right? And then there's Spider-Man, and then X-Men as a collective. That again, that's my trinity, right? Growing up, is Batman, Spider-Man, X-Men. As far as numbers, yeah, Spider-Man right now he has the baton. Like I'm just going off the numbers. I'm definitely going off the numbers. But I mean, top 3 is Batman, is Spider-Man. I thought it was Superman, but I think it's Avengers right now. What do we think about that? As far as top 3 pop culture comic characters or IPs, I think Avengers is more popular than Superman right now because of how it's been handled, right? Zack Snyder had Man of Steel. He was going to bring you the 5-part arc and triumphant Superman versus Darkseid. Now, all the kids would be talking about this right now if we had that fight. And then he's like, no, let's have Superman fight a kaiju. Let's have him, scream at Lex about that he's human. It just Superman. I'm sorry, man. Spider-Man showed if you bring in the goods with these CBM characters, the people will show up. This ain't just comic book geeks giving Spider-Man Brand New Day $2 billion in 3 weeks. You got the general audience. They know they know generally, okay, that's a Spider-Man label, that's the Batman label, that's a Superman label, right? They showed up for Batman somewhat with Reeves. That's what I'm saying. Reeves, you're on the clock. You're on the clock with part 2. You better have a cultural moment like what Spider-Man just had. You don't got to make $2 billion, right? That's not fair. But you better get close to $1 billion, if not more. The general audience, you bring the goods, they will show up. They don't care about the nuances. Is this film hot or not? Word of mouth. That's what the general audience wants, and that's where you make your money. That's what Spider-Man did. So Superman, for what they want to fluff this up, 600 million, huh? Spider-Man got that in 1 day. It's like, wait, what are we doing? It's like, what are we doing? 600 million? Batman, Spider-Man in a day and like 2 hours got over Matt Reeves' Batman Part 1. So it's like, come on now. Like, where's the disconnect? Why is Spider-Man blowing up so hardcore compared to the big labels like Batman and Superman? Why is Avengers going to guarantee get $1 billion? Right? That's questions that DC has to ask themselves. And really, they already know the answer. It's just that they picked the wrong exec. Spidey, Batman, Wolverine. I put Wolverine collectively with X-Men because there's elements in X-Men that actually helps and complements Wolverine. But yeah. And we've seen X-Men do numbers. So we've seen the X-Men is a brand that can be up there in live action. Where we at? Let's see, Brainiac. Yeah, I'm dreading Brainiac. I'm dreading the first look at Brainiac. It's a reason why Gunn has not showed us any concept art or anything for Brainiac. I'm expecting the worst, right? I'm expecting the worst. He showed us a Lex suit, the power suit, or war suit, whatever they try to call it. I thought that was decent. I'm going on record. Like I thought the power suit was actually decent, but hey, the internet has spoken, right? I can't. Got millions of people saying, this is Buzz Lightyear, so I'm not going to fight y'all with that. I thought the suit was okay as a practical suit, but the memes are there, folks. It's like, it's nothing. I have no control over that. So that is what it is. At this point, Spider-Man making a success at the box office looks extremely unfair. Yeah, I mean, it's the thing with Spider-Man, you hit that. It's more than just, okay, culturally, a new Spider-Man film. That's what Superman was running off of. It's a new Superman film. So that's how I knew you had baby boomers. You had everyone coming out and then bringing their grandkids. It didn't really get the Gen Z audience really wasn't messing with this Superman for some reason. But they definitely rejected Supergirl. So that's one angle to say, okay, there's a new Superman. This is the event level film. Superman's out, a new Batman, whatever, right? Everyone go to the theaters. But with Spider-Man, you had that cultural pull. Yeah, new Spider-Man. But then you had a phenomenon with Spider-Man. It's actually a good film. Like, it's a well-written, well-performed. I mean, you hit the trifecta of the critics love it, the audience love it, the comic book fans love it. You're going to make $1 billion plus. And then I think there's something with the Zendaya phenomenon. I think they probably finessed that. Yeah, because she has a huge following. And it all has to hit, right? Because Lady Gaga didn't get people to watch Joker Folie à Deux. So you got to hit it. You got to hit all those pointers. That's what Spider-Man did. It's hard to do what they just did. That's why you may never see nothing like this for another generation. What Spider-Man just did here. And it's worth it. It deserves it. This film is really good. But you hit all those markers. It's not fair to compare anything to this film. I agree. Batman Part 2 can try to reach $1 billion. I give it 900. I don't think it's going to hit $1 billion. I don't think Reeves has that crossover, like, you know, Batman Part 1, I had my problems with it, so I wasn't a big fan of Part 1. But I like his Gotham world in the Penguin series. So I'm sold into the world of what Reeves is building. So I'm ready to give this Part 2 a chance. But I mean, Part 1 only did 700. You got Batman, Nolan, he was doing after the Part 1, after Batman Begins, Nolan was doing $1 billion, plus Dark Knight Rises, right? Why did Reeves only do 700? So why am I expecting him to do gangbusters with Part 2 when it's going to be more of his aesthetic? I'm just saying, I think he can get 900. But also, too, I think Paramount should be like, okay, it takes you 5 years to do these films, bro. Like, appreciate your services. You're not getting part 3. We're not waiting 5 years. Okay? It's over. Get him out. Okay? So Reeves out, Gunn out, Safran. I'm pulling for you, Reeves. I think they cancel all your shows. You try to do these spinoff shows of Catwoman, Poison Ivy. We'll talk about that later. I think the Reeves verse is over. Part 2, and that's a wrap. Peace out. You out. You Gunn. Everybody out. Gunn's gonna fumble Brainiac. I dread seeing Brainiac. First look at Brainiac. Dave Miller, popcorn sales for Spider-Man's opening weekend were more than Supergirl's worldwide total box office. Oof. That just hits, man. Because that may be true. You got Neo 7s. Some of the things that Sony did right with Spider-Man was to cater to all audiences, old and new, respected the past, and paved a way into the future. Yeah, I think what Sony did, and I'm going to credit Tom Holland a lot with this, is that he was looking at what everyone's talking about online, right? What they want from Spider-Man. They want an existential crisis, right? As far as we grew up in my generation, like we always loved that. That's what Spider-Man 2 was good, because you had that, you know what I'm saying, that moment with Spider-Man. So they put that in the film. You put real human problems for Peter, right? He's a superhero, has super strength and all this stuff, and he is real human, right? That's what makes Spider-Man so great, because it's so easy to make like human problems for Spider-Man if you write it right. And I think they just nailed it in this film. They nailed it, right? And then you give people the spectacle. Again, I do believe Zendaya, I do believe her popularity helped this film. Why did Lady Gaga didn't help Joker 2? I don't know. But just I think there's a mixed bag here of what actually worked. And by the end of the day, Sony gave the people what they wanted, right? They gave the people what they wanted, and the numbers are the numbers. Or as we say, I mean, hey, at the end of the day, Neo 7s, you just got to keep things canon, right?
Canon.
Just keep it canon. Keep it canon. Good stuff. Good stuff. Let's catch up with the chat. Yeah, exactly. More relatable. This is one of the most. Again, I thought Spider-Man 2 did a great job. Raimi 2 did a great job with making Spider-Man, having that human moment. But I think Destin Daniel Cretton, I think he nailed it. I think he nailed it with this Spider-Man film. A very human story. And I'll say take as much time as y'all need to make Spider-Man 5, and let's cook. Let's cook it. Let's see. Let's get it. So X-Men, right? This was a wonderful reveal, in my opinion, of what they did at D23 was last night. It's a closed event. I may go to one. Now that X-Men are back, I'm going to plan to go to D23 probably next year or next couple of years, just like Comic-Con. I think Comic-Con, because DC Comics are back, I'm going to go to Comic-Con just for the comic books. That's how hype I am with Scott Snyder, what they're doing with the Absolute label. I wish I was there this past summer, this summer, because that was they had great panels for DC animated, again, the comic books and the creators and everything except live action DC, right? So I'm gonna try to go to the next Comic-Con just for that. And with Marvel getting X-Men back, and now the focus will be on the mutants. This is where it needs to be. Feige is going to retire off of this next 10-year run with the X-Men, right? Now at D23, real quick, side note, they had a couple reveals. Zootopia 3, after the first two films did wonderful. I think Zootopia 2 did almost get $2 billion, I think. I didn't check the numbers, but I like the Zootopia. I like part 1 better. but Zootopia 2, it did grow on me. It did grow on me. So that is what it is. But both films did great. They announced part 3 at D23. Another $1 billion, right? Disney is not fair. Incredibles 3. Incredibles 3 is coming. They got a new villain. They're going to focus on the kids a little bit more, but the whole family, this is the Fantastic Four, right? That's really what this is. But they're going to focus on the kids a little bit more on this film. Looking forward to, again, I think it's going to be another successful Disney run right there, right? So just want to throw that up there real quick. But let's get into the big announcement of the X-Men cast, right? There's been a lot of conjecture and guesses, speculation. I mean, people said Adam Driver was like 4 different characters. Like, it was amazing. Whatever scooper you were following this past couple months, you got receipts that a lot of them were saying different things. Everybody can't be right. But X-Men movie cast, Indy Navarrete as Rogue. I mean, that came out of nowhere. I like it. I like it. More on that in a moment. Christopher Abbott as Professor X. I don't know this dude's work. So I meant to do this before the show. What is he in? Christopher Abbott. He's relatively young. He just turned 40, I think. So I don't really know what he's done before. Maybe he's like in some smaller films and people think he's a good performer. But that is what it is. He is the new Xavier. He's from Girls. Okay. I don't know long time when the last time I saw that. Girls, that's an older film, right? Or older project. So I don't know his work that well. I really don't. He's great in Girls. What I may do, because I want to see the vision. I really want to see the vision with this guy as Xavier. So I'm about to check that out. I'm about to check out Girls again to see what he's doing there. Let's see. It says you've been following Cinesource. What are you saying? For real, I'm glad Indy got Cindy Source. What was I don't know what does that have to do with me? He's talking about Cindy. So what does that have to do with me? I follow a lot of accounts. That don't mean that I endorse all their stories. I don't know. Like, I don't know if they said something that hurt your feelings. I don't know. Like, what are we talking about? But what I was saying was Adam Driver was different scoopers was saying he was like 4 different characters. So yeah, I don't know. Did Cinesource say? I don't know how that connected to what I just said, but did Cinesource say that Adam Driver was someone else? I mean, if so, they were wrong. Yeah, I don't. Yeah. He can act. Okay. So yeah, I'm gonna check that. I'm gonna check that out. I want to see his work. Yeah, Adam Driver. I know Adam Driver's work. I know his work. Okay, here we go again. Let's see. So I retweeted Cinesource. So that means, yeah, I'm really not worried about that. If I retweet or quote tweet someone, I comment on the story. I don't know. Maybe you didn't see what I said when I quote tweeted them, right? Yeah. So yeah, it's probably some context with that. Probably didn't follow him back in the years. Okay, yeah, I don't know how that had anything to do with me. But anyone that was saying Adam Driver was someone that he wasn't, that's what I was calling out. You got something personal against Cinesource. Yeah, that's what that is. Okay, so yeah, it's all good. But I'm gonna take y'all suggestions of what Christopher Abbott was in. I may pull up something tonight and try to check out his work because I want to see the vision. I do want to see if he can bring it as Professor X, as Xavier. Looking forward to that. Adam Driver as Mr. Sinister. I think this is perfect. I think it's perfect, right? With Mr. Sinister. So I'm glad he's not Magneto, or some other character. I think Adam Driver, after seeing what he did as what was the the dude in Star Wars, is so forgettable. Kylo Ren. Kylo Ren. I know Adam Driver can reach the depths of Mr. Sinister, and he can get a little wacky with it as well, too, I think, as well. Yeah, Kylo Ren. So I like this casting. I like that this is what he is, right? Who's in Wolfman? Who's in Wolfman, Marcus? Is that Christopher Abbott as well, or is that somebody else? Ben Solo's wild. Yeah. I don't buy that Ben Solo. I don't buy that. Okay, cool. Okay, so Wolfman. So what is that a recent film? Let's see. Yeah, that's a recent film. Okay. I'm gonna check out Wolfman. It's on Peacock that says, yeah, I'm gonna peep that. I'm gonna peep that tonight. I'm gonna pull that up because I want to see his work. I want to see his work as a potential Xavier. So good stuff with that. And then, man, Maya Boyd. Y'all have no idea. Like, when you're talking about love at first sight. Well, before we get into that, first off, let's get some love to Indy Navarrete. I think she's going to make a good Rogue for the next generation for 10 years going forward, right? Coming off of the Obsession film, she was the star of that film, right? And the money that it's making, she has the great thing that Indy has. She captured Gen Z already. She captured the target audience already, and she's going to bring them to X-Men. Just as Sadie Sink, Stranger Things. Indy, this was a huge get for Marvel because Obsession captured a whole generation of Gen Z, and they're going to show up for her. I really believe they're going to show up for her with X-Men. And I was very glad she wasn't Mystique, because when they first started saying those rumors, I was like, I don't like the idea of Mystique because she's an actor. The facial expressions and everything, you don't cover her up with makeup and goop and stuff. You let her cook. So as Rogue, she's going to give you all the facial acting that you want for Rogue. I love this, right? Yeah, I think with Indy, I think she's about the craft. I thought she was great in Superman and Lois, the TV show. She outacted everyone in the scenes that she was in. If you go back and watch Superman and Lois, she was outacting everyone every scene. I was saying that back then. I was like, oh, she's a star. She's a star. You get her in a good movie, she's going to bring it 100%. And you go back and watch those episodes, like she's giving it 100% every single scene, every take. And so that's what translated to the Obsession film. Someone that's like, she's serious about her craft. She's dead serious. She may be crazy. Like, that's how good of an actress I think she is. I think she really is like a method type of an actress. And you going with Rogue? Oh, this is perfect. Oh, man, this is perfect, in my opinion. So definitely kudos to Marvel getting that right. It's one thing. But, man, we got to talk about Maya Boyd, okay? The Storm for the next generation. You talking about love at first sight. I don't know this young lady at all. She's like a Broadway actress. She's extremely talented, a singer. She has the look. She is Storm, okay? Like, I was blown away by this casting. I'm like, Feige, and they said Coogler had input in this Storm because she's supposed to be in Black Panther 3 as well. So this young lady, she's going to be, they're about to film the X-Men film, I think this month. They're going to start it. And then Black Panther 3 is going to start filming as well. You talk about a breakout star, just the look and everything. She got it for the next 10 years, like how Halle Berry was able to hold Storm for multiple years. Like Maya Boyd, she is her. Okay, this is Storm. This is Storm for the next generation. Y'all can't tell me nothing. And I know, like, people had, different ideas who they wanted Storm and stuff like that. I had other, ideas who I thought would be Storm. But this is going to be perfect for, again, you got to pair her with the new T'Challa. So I know you had to go younger with her, right? So I can't wait for that dynamic. I can't wait for her dynamic in the X-Men and then again in Black Panther 3. Personally, maybe, possibly, I should say, there could be some spin-off projects, maybe like a series or one-shot films or projects as well. I think she got it, man. I think she got it as the new Storm. But no, he's the new T'Challa. He's the new T'Challa. He said that's his name. Toussaint was the cover name. Toussaint, if you watch Wakanda Forever again, which I don't think that's Coogler's best film, but it's still a watchable film. The young kid at the end, he says he first introduced himself to Shuri as, I'm Toussaint. And he's like, can I tell you a secret? I'm T'Challa, son of Prince T'Challa. I'm son of King. Well, I'm a Prince T'Challa, son of King T'Challa. So his real name is T'Challa. Yeah, that's what happened in that scene. That was the cover. But his mama, hey, I like this. Though. I like this. His mama called him the son. I'm gonna call him the son. No, he's a new T'Challa. He's a new T'Challa. That's hilarious. But now, see, so there's two different angles here. There's an angle with Storm where she's with Black Panther, which Reggie Hudlin, the great producer, director, writer for years, he introduced a Storm T'Challa angle. And then there's another angle where you have the Storm and Forge. That's what X-Men 97 did. I'm good with the T'Challa angle. I was good with any angle they try to do with it, but I'm good with this, with her going with the T'Challa route. Because now Black Panther 3 is you're gonna put a mutant in Black Panther 3. We up in the ante, right, on this film. That's gonna be interesting how they connect it together, right? I'm looking forward to that. Let's see. Yeah, Feige Coogler as well. Shout out to Chubby Teddy in the chat as well. So I instantly fell in love with Maya Boyd. Okay, so this is my new muse out there. is the new Storm. All right. So if I seem like I'm extra glazing, it's because I am. Okay, it's because I am. Do you think they're going to have to change Magneto's backstory? No. I think they can keep that intact. I hope they do. Overall, Black Panther Cons did get married. They joined Fantastic Four, replacing Sue and Reed. Well, and then in the new in the Ultimate line of Marvel Ultimates, they brought them together again too, T'Challa and Storm. So yeah, I like their lean into that. As a DC guy, I can only be jealous of Marvel fans, how good they've been eating. It was crazy, yo, because Marvel, again, they were down bad since 2019 after Endgame. Marvel, they came up with a bad Ant-Man film, right? They fumbled introducing Kang. Like, they literally fumbled it. And then he, like, kind of fumbled his personal life. Again, it could be false charges all you want, Ryan Coogler, but, you got to know who you're around, bro. You know what I'm saying? That's what you got to do. You can't get caught up like that. But so that killed the whole Kang thing. And they were shuffling and fumbling for several years. She-Hulk and all this stuff. They almost messed up Daredevil. They tried to recourse correct it the last minute. And then they started figuring out what they need to do. DC had all that time to complete Zack's story. Reboot, whatever you want to do after that. So, yeah, that's on them. Now, I don't think Magneto is going to be 102 or whatever. I think they're going to have they're going to adjust the backstory to fit the age, but Magneto may not be introduced until like the end of the first film. Because if you have Xavier, you got to have Magnus. There's no way, right? I know you have Mr. Sinister, and you want to go different angles with different villains. You can't have Xavier without Magnus. So Magneto has to show up at least in the post credit or something of this first X-Men film. I would not accept that, Feige. We gotta have Magneto there, and then you can focus other films or spinoffs on him. Do a Brotherhood of Mutants. Do a Genosha side project. You gotta have Magneto, right? Very present with that. You got Neo 7s. Given Magneto's background, will Marvel have to cast an older actor? Again, I think what they need to do, kind of do like a hybrid approach. It has to fit this Xavier. So how do you make that connect to the whole Holocaust? I mean, he could be a descendant of that. Does he have to be in the Holocaust? Or could he be where there's still like some anti-Semitism somewhere in an area, right? And he was there. Like there's ways they could freak the story, right? Just in my opinion, to make sure it matches up. I don't want to see them like totally remix his background. I don't want to see that, because that's a part of why he goes so hard for mutants, right? In a sense, he lost his people, so this is his people now. The mutants are his people now, his brotherhood. So that's what makes Magneto such a great character. X-Men 97 just does it great. So we need that more in the live action for sure. But again, just age appropriate. He has to fix Xavier. He has to fit his character. In my opinion, there. Appreciate your support, Neo 7s. All right, so let's see. So this is the cast. You got a little AI rendition under it, but Storm was perfect. Sadie Sink, y'all knew Sadie Sink nailed it as Jean. I'm gonna watch Wolfman tonight to kind of see what Christopher Abbott is up to. Samara Weaving as Emma Frost, the White Queen. So I'm glad they didn't try to mess with that character too much. Like, hey, just get the whitest person as possible. She's great. She's great. I like that casting as Emma Frost for sure. And we mentioned Andy as Rogue. I think she's gonna kill it. The only guy I'm a little nervous about is Cyclops. That's the only reservation I have right now. It's like I hope he brings it, right? Last week I talked with, me and Jules was here talking about like he needs that leadership skills. He needs to really bring it. Overall, he has to show that he deserves Jean, right? And then he can't be too weak, because when Wolverine comes around and Jean's like, oh, I'm kind of feeling this animalistic dude, Logan, like Cyclops, you gotta be that that secure area for Jean, Cyclops. And I just hope he brings it. That's all. I have a little trepidation. We'll see if he has a look, right? We'll see. Overall, amazing stuff with that. But totally on board, especially with Storm. Totally on board with the X-Men. Film's coming out 2028. Marvel is going to be cooking. Marvel, they're going to be hitting you with X-Men. I think it's like in May of 2028, a good sweet spot right there, right? And more announcements is coming. You're going to have Beast. I believe you're going to have Iceman or Angel, maybe both. So there's going to be more male X-Men coming. Yeah, I want a true leader. I don't want no soy boy, because then I'm pulling for Jean to leave you. Then at that point, we'll give you the clone, Madeline Pryor. You could have the clone Cyclops if you're gonna be weak. I'm just saying. So, but yeah, X-Men in 2028 is gonna be in May. Then you're gonna have the Ghost Rider film that summer, and then Black Panther 3, I think the fall of 2028. So you're gonna have at least two Appearances of the new Storm, my new muse, Maya Boyd. I am a fan. Openly. So going from the good news of Marvel and just all you see how everything felt good when we talk about X-Men. Like, it was just like a good vibe in the chat. Everyone's happy, talking about what they like, and it is what it is, right? And then we go to DCU, right? Now the mood changes. Now everyone's not so happy anymore. Feels like people are up against a deadline. Like their job's on the line.
I'm fighting for my life.
That's the mood change when we go to DC. It total mood killer. Right? It just kills the entire mood, right? Amazing. And that's the thing with this this current state of the DCU is that it's not in a good place, according to this report that's out there. Yeah, the sweet with the sour. An outlet, the Anchor, came up with a bombshell story this past week saying, "Scoop, 2 high-profile DC shows are dead at HBO. The Wonder Woman prequel, Paradise Lost, and a spinoff starring Oscar winner, the Waller, so Viola Davis, is no longer on the DC development slate." And this is the whole bullet points here. Let me pull this up real quick. The status of high-profile DC series developed under Gunn and Safran. Waller, dead. Paradise Lost, dead. Booster Gold, still in development. So, like, that's how I know the priorities are wrong. How are you going to let Paradise Lost die? The ultimate Themyscira prequel for Wonder Woman. You let that die, but we got to hold on to Booster Gold. But the Booster Gold's dead, okay? There's a lot of fancy talk out there. That's dead as well. And then 2, Penguin season 2 in limbo. That's why I was like, obviously with Paramount coming in, Gunn and Safran are done. So we get that. Reeves. Maybe Reeves is done. You go and do your part 2, and then as a side story, they canceled or they decide not to follow up on his pitches for a Catwoman spinoff, which I thought everyone was expecting. It was Zoe Kravitz. I thought that was an easy spinoff to do, or a one-shot film, streaming film, series, whatever. I thought that was an easy one. That was denied. Then the Poison Ivy, which reportedly he's introducing Poison Ivy in Batman Part 2. He was trying to do a spinoff of that as well, too. That was denied. I think Reeves is done. I think he does his Batman Part 2. You got this whole ensemble cast. Go ahead, cook it up, do your thing. You may not be quite Spider-Man level, but Paramount may be like, hey, let's turn the page, because Reeves, you take 5 years to make films. That's just, you got your Part 2 out finally. Was it 6 years? It took him 6 years to make this film when it's released in 2028. 2 years from now. So Reeves is done, in my opinion. He should be done. And it's no smoke for you Reeves fans. Y'all got to come and attack me again, but y'all may. I didn't like Part 1. I thought that was the worst depiction of a Batman, Pattinson. But again, the Penguin series, that Gotham world, I was sold. And I'm giving Part 2 a chance. But it may be time to pack it up after that, right? You got Peacemaker. There's no season 3 of Peacemaker. Peacemaker's done. The viewership plummeted. Business-wise, Paramount's not going to let you do another Peacemaker. Gun. It's over. Creature Commandos, hey, they got that in real quick, right? Season 2. Animated. No one's going to trip on animated. No one watched season 1 of Creature Commandos. As much as I said it's a good Easter egg DC project, no one cared. And it had a terrible finale. You got Mr. Miracle coming out. Not enough people are going to care, okay, about that. And then you got Lanterns, which is coming out tomorrow, right? Which I'm going to try to set up some kind of watch along. Just stay tuned. I'll post it on all my platforms where I'm going to try to do that because I'm actually free this whole weekend now. So great. After a month, got a free weekend. So we definitely going to watch Lanterns tomorrow. I definitely want to talk to y'all about this show overall. It says they're amassing a writer's room for Lantern season 2, but as we're learning this current structure, it's up to HBO, not Gunn. It's not the Gunn. It's up to HBO if you're going to have some DC stuff on HBO Max, because they want that adult stuff overall. Marcus says characters from the show will be absorbed by Man of Tomorrow. Yeah, that's definitely what they're going to do. I think that's going to be Gunn's finale. He's going to all the characters he introduced in Peacemaker, maybe Creature Commandos. He may not even have the guts to translate them to live action. Lanterns, the surviving Lantern will be able to go forward in Man of Tomorrow because there can only be one. They told you that, but that's right on the nose. So yeah, definitely, Gunn's gonna have his last hurrah with Man of Tomorrow. Let's see what we got in the chat. But that's the thing, is like, even if Gunn, if the roadway was Superman 2025, Batman 2026, because you would have had enough room. That's why there's so much mishandling. You got Reeves trying to do his film. I think Reeves probably blocked this on purpose because Gunn could have did his new Batman and still had a couple of years before Reeves came out. But it was totally mishandled on the exec level. And so now, you got to wait on Reeves, and he ain't coming out to 2028 now, 2 years from now. You could have already did your DCU Batman. And then Wonder Woman could have came out again a year after this with Man of Tomorrow as well. That would have been a better presentation of this new DCU, is my point. Would it have been good? I don't know. We have to see. But at least you would have had a chance. You don't have a chance doing Superman, which again had mid-success. Supergirl bombs after Peacemaker season 2 viewership drops, and now up next you're praying people go see Lanterns, but there's more word on that on Lanterns. How reviews are out there. This is a show we thought it was, y'all. What I told y'all last couple of weeks, this is exactly what we think it is, and we'll talk about that more in just a moment. He needs to bat bad. Yeah. Interesting stuff. Like, I wanted to watch Paradise Lost and Authority badly. Yeah. I don't know what they're doing with the DCU right now. It's in limbo. This world is crumbling. RBKFCU, it's a wrap. That's wild. So we got the article on this. Let me pull this up here. There we go. KFC is cooked. KFCU is cooked. Amanda Waller series, Wonder Woman prequel, Paradise Lost, no longer in active development at DC Studios. Now, there's reports out there saying, well, it's not necessarily not active anymore. DC is still developing it. HBO doesn't want it. So what does that mean? They may still, I'm going to let y'all know this right now. Just like the Blue Beetle animated show, the HBO rejected. We talked about this a couple weeks ago. So we was ahead of the story. But HBO is saying we don't want any of these shows. We can't develop it. We don't want it. you're not going to put it on HBO Max. Gunn and Safran, before they get fired or before their contract is up, they may try to sell one of these shows to like Amazon. It could be the Waller series, the Blue Beetle animated, even Paradise Lost. They may try to finagle this and sell it to Netflix or something like that. So just don't be surprised if you hear, Gunn cuts a deal after he gets fired. He's still developing these shows, and he wants his points off of the shows. HBO said no already. And he may still try to sell it to another platform, which is, I think, it's just like Cape Crusader, right? Which, man, side note, have y'all watched Cape Crusader season 2? I'm not feeling it, y'all. I'm not feeling season 2 of Cape Crusader. Season 1, I thought was solid. I thought they had a lot of promise. And yes, they swapped some stuff. They want to do like an Elseworld thing. And I wasn't actually mad about that in season 1 of Cape Crusader. And I thought that carried the season pretty good. This season 2, man, it's almost unwatchable for me. I tried to watch the first 3 episodes and I was bored to death. I tried to restart it. Episode 4 was kind of decent with Barbados, that whole thing. I'm not buying this Cape Crusader, bro. I just want to throw that out there. But that's what Gunn and Safran may try to do. They may try to sell one of these shows to Amazon or somewhere. Overall, season 1 I thought was okay. And like I said, they may still sell one of these shows. But they want to push this Jimmy Olsen. And my take with that is that Paramount may be like, that's cool. You think you're going to come up with this show? But after we close this deal, I don't think Jimmy Olsen's safe. This is like Wonder Twins all over again. Y'all remember when Discovery bought Warner Brothers and it took like 2 years for them to close the deal, right? They announced the purchase of Warner Brothers, Discovery did, in 2020, May 17th, 2020, specifically. And it took them 2 years to close it. And between that time, Hamada was announcing Wonder Twins and all this stuff. And after that deal closed, Zazzle said, no, we're not. Nah. You ain't shooting no Wonder Twins. So all I'm saying, he could try. He could try to do this Jimmy Olsen stuff. We'll see. We'll see. Tax write-off. It's a candidate. It's a candidate. All right. Let's see. What else is this article saying? It says two previously announced TV projects are being put on hold at DC Studios, right? Paradise Lost, Wonder Woman. Reps at DC Studios declined to comment, of course. We actually kind of covered this already in that screenshot I had. They swear Booster Gold is still in development. That means nothing. I don't think HBO wants it. And then if HBO takes it, they're going to warp it. They're going to warp the story like they're kind of doing with Lanterns, right? So let's get into the Lantern story because, again, we know what's canceled. We know what's not happening with the DCU right now. It's a wrap. It's a wrap of what they're doing with DCU. So on top of them canceling shows, they thought it was a good idea to announce Nathan Fillion, Guy Gardner, and Mr. Miracle animated series. They thought this was a good idea after, Waller's done, no Paradise Lost, DCU is crumbling. But hey, Guy Gardner is in every project. Is this a joke? Like, does James Gunn realize like this does not help him at all?
I'm fighting for my life.
This all you got, bro? Guy Gardner? This is crazy. All these projects being struck down, they felt like that was the day to say, hey, we got Guy Gardner, guys, right? That's why I say fire James Gunn, fire Peter Safran, fire all the brand DC brand execs who survived since the Sujihara era. And because they have failed us as DC fans. And in this Lantern story, it gets even worse. Just how much they have failed the fan base. They don't deserve to run the brand. Guy Gardner will be the connective linchpin. It's unreal. So he's the Nick Fury. This is a joke. This is really a joke overall, right? Insane. And so we're understanding that we're seeing the kinks in the armor of this DCU. It was really easily unraveled after Superman, again, only did $600 million. He's supposed to be this cultural icon, and you don't get people returning to theaters to see you like Spider-Man, like Batman probably will do, Avengers. So it's just Superman is falling out of that top three as far as cultural impact. I guess that's thanks to James Gunn, right? Now, I don't have the screenshot, but there was a post talking about AI was discovered in Supergirl, right? They use AI concept art to create the Jason Momoa Lobo, right? So I don't have the picture handy. I thought that was hilarious. And the fact that they use AI in the production of the film. They posted the video on YouTube showing Momoa looking at AI shots of Lobo. And then after the backlash, they pulled, they pulled the video because there was just so much backlash that they dared to use AI so openly like that. I understand AI as far as helping editing videos, because that's what I use to edit my videos. You use AI. It helps you smartly cut and tighten up stuff. So I get that for post work. That's what everyone's already using AI for post work. That's why you could turn around films better now. But for your conceptual art and your art design of characters and putting scenes in the film that's possibly using AI as well, what do we mean? This popped up on the timeline here. You had Superman, this Superman shot versus the Kaiju, which is one of the most disappointing scenes in my adult life. I was looking forward to the Kaiju fight. It became such a joke, right? But you have Superman flying around, right? And you got the sun right there, yeah? And then, okay, Superman kind of flips around, goes up, and the sun's up there. I'm lost. Are there two suns in Metropolis in the DCU? Is that what's going on? Again, with AI, like I just said, with AI, for post work, I have no problem with post work for AI. If you're putting AI scenes in your film, that's where the problem is. If the Lobo art from Supergirl wasn't AI, Warner Bros. Wouldn't have been so quick to delete that video. Exactly. No, concept art, the theory of AI concept art, I'm actually not mad about that. I just find it funny that Warner Bros. Got so scared. But then now we can conclude they probably use AI shots as well of Lobo in the film overall. But we know this scene, I'm sorry, like one thing with AI, they always have like this little inconsistency. It's not human. So it can throw something in there that's not consistent with reality, like two suns. That's what Gunn just supposedly Gunn doesn't use AI, but this shot is clearly AI. I mean, that's not Corn Sweat flying around. That's not Corn Sweat, okay? Like, what is it? And I mean, it could be some mix of CGI with AI. I don't know if y'all thought this was really Corn Sweat or something. Like, what it's AI, man. Two suns. I love the counter. I love the sun counter. There you go. Got one sun there. But this, you don't see two suns? Hold on. Everyone don't see two suns? Let me know in the chat. Do we see two suns or not? Someone saying it's a stretch. That's one sun. All right. And it's still in focus. That's two suns. So where's the stretch? Let me know in the chat. You see two suns? Yeah, two suns. Yeah. So I don't know what we talking about. What are you talking about stretching though? Hold up. We want to be clear. We want to be up close and personal. He's in the land of the lost. Where's the stretch? Or are you talking to somebody else? Maybe you're talking to somebody else. Okay. Yeah, there's two suns right there. so I think, I think definitely. I mean, that's proof that AI has been used. Let's see. Yeah, there's only one sun in real life. It shouldn't be two. Exactly. So DC is kind of, it's kind of in a weird place for DCU right now. And then just on top of that, leading into this Lantern series and everything, you have this video that comes out with Jeff Loeb. Jeff Loeb, longtime comic person. I mean, did he do the last Halloween? Was that Jeff Loeb? Zaslav considered, or at least Jeff Loeb was in a consideration, for head of DC before Gunn and Safran. So Jeff Loeb, he's on the left there. You got Rob Liefeld on the right, the Cable creator, right? He had some interesting words about James Gunn. Jeff Loeb did.
Metamorpho. I have to ask you, what is James Gunn's obsession with Metamorpho?
I don't know where this came from, but Jeff Loeb just unloaded.
Character James, can you tell us a character that maybe there's must be 1 million people here today at San Diego Comic-Con. Maybe 3 know who Metamorpho is.
All I'm saying is okay. I didn't mind Metamorpho, but I knew that wasn't for the people, right? That was for hardcore. Gunn was trying to give you a hardcore, D-lister character. But Jeff Loeb, he sounds like, man, if I would run DC, I literally would have been better at this. Yeah, he did a Long Halloween. He just for unprovoked, he's unleashed on James Gunn.
I have to ask you, what is James Gunn's obsession with Metamorpho? Can you tell us a character that maybe there's must be 1 million people here today at San Diego Comic-Con. Maybe 3 know who Metamorpho is.
Maybe 3, not Metamorpho.
This Gunn catching strays. Gunn catching strays from everywhere. I mean, he's fighting for his life, y'all.
I'm fighting for my life. Y'all killing me with this.
I'm just saying, it's almost not fair, but it is fair. What's happening with Gunn? I think the writing's on the wall. This DCU needs to be over, right? It just needs to be. I don't like the timeline that we're in overall. So that's where we're at with that. Gunn pushes D-list characters because he can freely alter them. Yeah, for sure. For sure. Can we go to X-Men again? No, we're going further to the descent. Look, you see how the show was happier a half hour ago? No, we're going further to the ascent. Nightmare. This is gonna be your nightmare. We're talking more DC. Now Lanterns is about to come out. Oh, we got some stuff to talk about with Lanterns. It's premiering tomorrow on HBO Max. Oh, this is a good point for me to say this. I'm going to do I may start doing special Sunday Patreon streams where I can cover more of the trailers and footage because YouTube hates me playing most videos. And we're going to talk more about Lanterns. They had that 5-minute preview. So I'm going to have like a little prelude to Lanterns tomorrow on Patreon, exclusively on Patreon, patreon.com/sylabdul. Just become a member any level. You'll be able to catch I don't want to commit to Sunday shows because I got to work sometimes. But there will be Patreon episodes showing again more, footage and stuff like that. And Lanterns, we're going to cover more about the Lanterns tomorrow on that. But there's some stories today we definitely want to touch on. Link in the description for the Patreon. Lanterns, before we get to the show, this show is supposed to be something totally different than what we're about to get tomorrow. Now, the reviews are out there. Again, this Lantern show is exactly what you think it is. What we've discussed for the past month, that it is a grounded show. It's a very terrestrial-based show. They're going to tell instead of show some things of the lore. So you're not going to get a lot of Lanterns magic, construct magic. The suit is physical, right? So they're saving a lot of money, making the show very grounded. Now, also too, and I said, I've talked to people that saw the show, and they said, yeah, this ain't for like the comic book lore. This is not what you're getting with this show. But they feel the performances are really good. They feel this is going to be just a watchable, entertaining show. If you're there for Lanterns lore and be excited for the constructs, that's not what you're going to get in this show, right? So that is what it is. They think Kyle Chandler is great as Hal Jordan. Yes, what we think is going to happen is going to happen. Episode 1. There's 2 different timelines going on, so they're going to be kind of 3, but because they have like an extreme flashback, and then they have a more recent flashback, and then you have current day in the show. So it's more of a character study of the fall of Hal Jordan, right? And they say Aaron Pierre is great. This is a great setup for just his character of Jon Stewart. Do I feel this will be a watchable show? Just from who I talk to, I think this will be a show that I probably will check out. Just overall, will they tick me off when they do the crazy offing of one of the Lanterns? They're gonna have to recover. I don't know how they're gonna recover from that for the lore people, right? For the lore people. So I don't sign up for a Lantern show to get a grounded, dusty show. So that's kind of where I'm at, again, with this overall. I think someone I saw, they compared this show to Reacher. Now, if you watch Reacher on Amazon, that's as grounded as you get as a show. The Lantern should not be anything like Reacher. Now, that's what they're giving us. And that's why I said this could actually be a watchable show, but you're getting nothing from the lore. Just name drops. And, the Guardians ain't even alien. They got a human Guardian. So it's like, it's just, this could have been any IP to pull this story off that they want to pull off, unfortunately, with that. Let's catch up what we're saying with the Lanterns. Yeah, it's sad. People, the guzzlers and glazers, they look at Rotten Tomatoes they feel Rotten Tomatoes has to validate them. That's how I know they're not built like Snyder fans, because in the face of Rotten Tomatoes saying Man of Steel's trash, BVS trash, we still held up and supported what it actually was, and we still got the Snyder cut after that. See, these guzzlers and glazers, they couldn't. There's a better cut of Supergirl. You'll never see that cut because y'all didn't hold down Supergirl in the face of Rotten Tomatoes. And the film may just really just be that bad. That's the Gunn cut. Gunn hijacked and ruined Supergirl. Now you won't see the superior cut from Craig Gillespie. He made a better cut. It actually tested better. But Gunn hijacked it, right? So you see, when Rotten Tomatoes told them not to like Supergirl, they jump ship. They're not like us, right? Now with Lanterns, it has a good Rotten Tomatoes score. Yeah. I think the critics, they're going to lap this up, just like Lindelof did that Watchmen sequel series, which doesn't even stand up to the original story. but because it's the whole critical and HBO eye to that Watchmen series, the critics loved it. And that's what Lanterns is going to get. You're going to get the critics liking it. And maybe some fans will like it, but hardcore Lanterns fans, you're not going to like this show. I'm just going to say it. The hardcores. Me, I wasn't a hardcore Lantern fan, so I'm just open to just seeing what it does. But this isn't going to add to the lore. It's not going to excite you in any way on that angle. It's going to be a story about a couple dudes, and that's pretty much it. That's what this show is. And maybe well acted. I don't know. Maybe good performances with this. So yeah, we don't go by Rotten Tomatoes here. Let's see. Shout out to Peely in the chat. Yeah, Gunn had that long foot. Yeah, Gunn definitely been using AI. Now, Rotten Tomatoes that threw Supergirl over under the bus. No, Rotten Tomatoes. We don't go by Rotten Tomatoes, Sonic guy. We don't go by Rotten Tomatoes. You see, in the face of Rotten Tomatoes tried to dump on Man of Steel, it's still the most successful Superman film ever. Rotten Tomatoes don't validate us. BVS don't, Rotten Tomatoes didn't validate us with BVS. We got the Ultimate Edition, which everyone liked better. And then the Snyder Cut, which everyone loves the Snyder Cut. Even if you didn't like BVS, you love the Snyder Cut. So no, we don't do that. The scores, no. Now the scores could matter as far as box office success overall. Like you get more money if the critics and audience likes it together. But we don't rely on critics, bro. Yeah, we don't do that. We don't do that. We've had 2 scandals now with Rotten Tomatoes about scores being bought and paid for or agenda driven. Yeah, I mean, like I said, there's an angle. If you get a critical, good Rotten Tomatoes score, that can help your perception for a couple weeks. Then the audience will have their say as well. But if you get both of them liking it, yeah, that's a recipe for success. Yes. You gotta have a good opening, and then word of mouth will be there. So it's a couple of things with that, but you don't need a good Rotten Tomatoes score to be successful. Critic score, you don't need that. Anyone that's still relying on that, I don't get how you watch movies for yourself if you need the critics to like it for you. Exactly. But again, guzzlers and glazers, they're parading this like, oh, Lanterns is a success. Bro, Lanterns didn't come out yet. Once it comes out, the audience will have their say. And then viewership. I don't think this is going to be more viewed than Penguin. And Penguin wasn't that big of a success as far as viewership. It was a really good show. But you're saying this is going to do better than Penguin? I don't think it will. But again, I keep hearing that there's some good performances in the show. So I think it's going to make it watchable. But it may tick off people looking for lore. And you got Sonic Guy in the chat. First off, you commenting too much in the chat. And then you're just saying a bunch of nothing. Sonic Guy. Stop using caps. Okay, Sonic Guy. Stop using caps. Because you're saying a bunch of nothing. And it's worse when you're saying nothing and it's all in caps. Okay, that's a bad aesthetic for my eye. You can give your opinion, but don't use all caps, bro. When you're saying you're loud and wrong, don't do that. You can just be wrong in small letters. Okay, thank you. You can debate people all you want. That's fine. Don't do all this capitals and stuff, man. That's those gun channels. I think they let y'all do those capital letters all the time. Don't do that over here. Yeah, but as far as with Lanterns. Too loud and wrong. HBO wanted this type of show, this true detective, dusty show, and things like that. It says HBO spent 7 years trying to make Green Lantern happen. An inside look at a long, tortured development process that left a pair of TV hitmakers high and dry. Lanterns was not supposed to be the show we're about to see tomorrow. And this what kind of upsets me more. It's like we had creators that wanted to give us a true spectacle for Lanterns to redeem the Ryan Reynolds film. Because say what you want to Ryan Reynolds. I mean, yes, the suit probably looked better for that, but it was not a good film, right? Ryan 2011 Green Lantern. It wasn't a good film. I thought the first act was pretty solid. Got some of the training, and then it fell off a cliff by the third act, right? The villain was terrible, in my opinion. Great setup for Sinestro Yellow Lantern, though. That post-credit scene was crazy, and then it just kind of got wild overall for that film. So the producers of that 2011 Lanterns film wanted to redeem themselves. That's Mark Guggenheim, well-known creator, and Greg Berlanti. They said, let's do this right. Let's redeem ourselves for what just happened in Lanterns. So these are the perfect people to make a Lanterns follow-up, project, right? Or reboot, whatever. As it says, when they signed on to develop the Green Lantern show in 2019, they were co-writers of the Ryan Reynolds 2011 flop. They hoped for a redemption story. They wanted to bring y'all the real Lantern story. It was supposed to be like an anthology type of thing. He's going to get Alan Scott's era. He's going to get Jon Stewart, Hal Jordan. He's going to get Simon Baz and Jessica Cruz. That's what Guggenheim and Berlanti wanted to do. And then Guy Gardner was in there somewhere as well, too. They really wanted to redeem themselves, right? And redeem the fans, because, again, 2011 was not a good film. But they were in for several frustrating years. All the restructuring of Warner Brothers and Discovery comes in. And then Zaza makes HBO like king over whatever comes on HBO. So DC, you don't really have a say. HBO has the say, right? And so that's that last quote there, where they said, we kept getting those notes saying they want True Detective with power rings. That's what you're about to get tomorrow. Ultimately, that wasn't the show that we were interested in giving them, right? So we could have had a spectacle, true Green Lantern. It would have been called Green Lanterns, and it would have had, yes, and maybe it would have cost more money to make. Maybe they could have broke up the season a little bit more, but it would have been a worthy addition to the Lanterns lore. That's what we would have got. I would have liked the anthology approach. Instead, they made it into more of a flashback of Jon Stewart, and then a recent flashback of him and Hal Jordan, and then current day Jon Stewart. So you kind of know who doesn't survive, right? So that was the Lantern story with that. But there are people, again, who have seen the reviews are out there of this Lantern show. And let's talk about one particular review. I will say overall, it has been some positive reviews out there. And I think Rotten Tomatoes is in the high 80s. So the critics supposedly like it overall. With the show, when someone says they like something, that's great. I like to see when people say they don't like something, I like to see why they say they don't like something. Like when people was hating on BVS, oh, it's too dark, it's not like Marvel. Then you kind of see in their angle, like, okay, they just, they got the Marvel glasses on. That's why I didn't like it. So there's some positive reviews of Lanterns. There are some Lanterns reviews that are critical. So let's just see, like, what are they critical of? Maybe it's some of the things that we're anticipating we may not like with this show, right? Inverse.com. This is a website. I like their, they have an independent take on a lot of things. So they have some issues with this Lanterns. It says Lanterns keeps the DCU stuck on the ground. It's a grounded show with a conspiracy thriller modeled after True Detective. I hate that we got to keep hearing True Detective. You know, like it's like okay, overall. With the it says DC's expanded universe feels smaller than ever. That's not what I wanted to see. I didn't want to hear that. With this Lantern show, the new DC universe is a world built for better or worse on the backs of C-list heroes. There's a reason this reboot, spurred by Marvel's erstwhile edgelord, James Gunn. They don't like James Gunn? They kind of going at James Gunn's head. It officially began with Creature Commandos, of all things. Gunn clearly loves to dredge the bottom of the proverbial toy box to resurrect the heroes time forgot. And admittedly, that's given the DCU some scrappy punk rock vibes where it counts. It's hard not to be charmed by Gunn's choice for the Green Lantern, for example, who reluctantly mentors the Man of Steel in Superman. Talking about Guy Gardner. Of course, Gunn would use Nathan Fillion as Guy Gardner, a foul-mouthed former gym teacher with a gold tooth and terrible bowl cut, to introduce the Green Lantern's core to a new generation. Think what? Of all characters in a Superman film, you thought Guy Gardner was the move. I'm just saying, that's the move. Anyway, this is the creative choice. This is the exec. It was a deep cut, just trolly enough to set the tone for his offbeat world of gods and monsters, which really just a Superman saga now, right? Super family saga. But what exactly did it mean for, say, Hal Jordan or Jon Stewart? Were they unavailable when Lex Luthor were tearing Metropolis apart? How did that fit into Gunn's vision? DC's powers that be are very aware of the plot wrinkle these questions might create. That, among other reasons, is why we have Lanterns. One part fix-it fiction, one part convoluted origin story. It largely exists to explain why the two most famous and beloved Lanterns set out the events of Superman. Probably because one of them was dead. I don't know. But the DCU can have its cake and eat it too. But when the result is this dense and impersonal, Gunn and company were probably better off sticking with Guy Gardner. Dang. So, I mean, this they probably about to go in on this article here. If Superman kicked the door open to let a host of heroes into the DCU, Lanterns feels retrograde by comparison. It's a story told mostly through flashback, with a plot that darts across timelines to paint a complex portrait of its unlikely duo. Hal Jordan might just be the planet's first true superhero. So this should have been the first thing they did. They should have came out with Lanterns first. I wouldn't have been mad about this. If you introduced the DCU with Lanterns, anyway. He is the first Earthling appointed to be a Lantern. Though he's beloved by the public, the scope of his jurisdiction is murky. Sometimes he's called in to apprehend an international terrorist for the U.S. Marines. Sometimes he's the only thing standing between Earth and an extraterrestrial threat. He's good at his job. He's occasionally overzealous, even a little callous. Maybe that's what the job requires, to be a Green Lantern, one who has to leave fear at the door forever. There's no telling what that might do to someone after years of service, though Lanterns is keen to find out. And this makes sense. This is a setup for Kyle Chandler. Hal Jordan is, he's Earth's, I guess, first hero. I guess that's what they're saying now. And there's this descent. He's detached from humanity. That sounds like an HBO show, right? But just, not as much green, right, with it overall. Let's see what we're saying here. All right, let's keep going. They talk about the people behind the camera. I don't want to talk too much about them right now. We'll go ahead. Okay, Lanterns Brain Trust, comprised of comics legends Tom King, Chris Mundy, Damon Lindelof. This ain't the trio that I wanted here. Tackles a typically cosmic adventure from a surprisingly grounded anger. Grounded is the key word here. Again, they went on the cheap to make this show. They may have some great performances, but just know what you're getting into. This is a grounded show. They tried to save money at all possible. Tell, don't show. That's what this show is going to be. The trio trades interstellar intrigue. They trade away interstellar intrigue for the intimate, prickly character studies we sooner see in Lindelof's The Leftovers or True Detective. There's that word again. We keep hearing True Detective, True Detective. I get it. You want True Detective. You want grounded. That's what this show is, y'all, okay? They want to pretend, oh, there's some more green in there. It ain't going to be a lot of that. All right, you probably saw all the green shots already. It's hard to say if anyone was really asking for a grounded Western here. That's what this show is, a grounded Western. The Lanterns doesn't make a compelling case for such a pivot anyway. It might make sense for Chandler's homegrown Hal on the hard-nosed Jon Stewart. It fits like a ring 2 sizes too small. Dang. He's introduced as Hal's long-suffering apprentice, a falsely humble ex-Marine who will stomach any indignities or aggressions to complete his Lantern training. So they're going to hate each other. I don't know. I don't know, like, if I want this dynamic between Jon Stewart and Hal Jordan, right? By just watching a Lanterns project, I don't want this whole buddy cop. I'm mad, and I don't like you. Like, I don't want that dynamic. Actually, that's what's there. That's what it's going to be. Grounded, True Detective. They hate each other. Physically recoil every time. True Detective. Grounded. But the way they appear to be doing it looks like the potential won't be realized and it will suck. It's going to be too stripped down, Dave. That's the problem. Because, again, based on the people that's seen it, they're saying there's some great performances, but that's all this show is. It's a performance-based show. It's not giving you the lore. It's not what I really signed up for a DC-connected universe, right? That's the down point, in my opinion. Will this show be watchable? I still think it could be watchable. It's not what we want as Lanterns fans, right? Comics fans. It says presumably John will replace Hal if ever he retires or can't continue his duties. Hint is B. He's not going to be able to continue his duties. But Hal also has no intention of giving up his ring. So it means we got to remove Hal. The impasse paves the way for plenty of asinine ego checking, betrayal, and eventual understanding. In short, Lanterns wants to be the defiant ones, but for all its posturing, it isn't nearly brave enough to take that leap. It's going to be a messy pass off, in my opinion. Let's see. Let's jump down here. I don't like how they're setting this up. The characterization of Jon Stewart being all prickly towards Hal Jordan. I'm not going to enjoy seeing that. But then maybe Kyle Chandler's playing Hal as such a jerk. You kind of understand why Jon Stewart may not like him. I don't like that either. Like, I don't want to dislike Hal Jordan like this. Right? So if it works, it's because Hal Jordan really is a jerk. And it's like, okay, he could be a jerk, but like, we don't got to job him up, man. I don't like that. It says the John of Lanterns has grown up believing that he deserves the ring more than anyone. Why? Jon Stewart was not like that in the comics. Jon Stewart wasn't like that. I deserve it more than anyone. Why? There's always more Lantern on Earth from comic and animation. Yeah. I don't know why, John. And again, he was qualified. And, the ring chooses you, and really the Guardians personally chose Jon Stewart. So it wasn't like he was seeking this out. He had the quality, just like Hal. He had the qualities, and the ring chose Hal. So I don't like that. This is something. Oh, I deserve it more than anyone. Like, calm down. This ain't Jon Stewart. And it says he deserves it more than anyone, not because he's inherently fearless, but because of the prejudices that instill existential fear to men like him and allow men like Hal to cut the line. I don't like this angle, okay? I don't like this, because this is not the Lantern story. There we go. Damon Lindelof, for some reason, Lindelof thinks he can write for black people. Let's just keep it a buck right now. In the Watchmen series, Lindelof is like, oh, I'm so, in tune. I'm so liberal that I can write for black people how they feel. It's like, hey, you can write your character, but like, let's chill on this. Let's chill on this social commentary. Okay. We don't need that. We don't need that in this show. And maybe that's why the critics like it, because they love posturing like this. I don't like this. I don't like this. I don't like how this is being framed. This is not Jon Stewart's character. We don't need this. Yeah, we don't need this, man. You're dragging down an IP. Again, this is Lindelof all over again. If you watch that Watchmen series, I'm just like, bro, I get it. You want to, speak to different audiences or whatever, but leave the social commentary to people of that background. If you tell it from your point of view, great. We don't need you, bro, trying to go, for ride hard for, social equality and stuff like that. We actually don't need you to do that, Lindelof. And don't use lanterns to do that. Don't do that. I don't like this. Says John feels cheated of his birthright. This isn't Jon Stewart. Okay? This I don't care. Aaron Pierre may do a great job in the show. This is not Jon Stewart. I don't like this, man. Hal has to be the bad guy so John can shine. Yeah, both characters, they shine on their own. Yeah. Exactly. We don't need no true crime stuff. And again, Lindelof, he's sitting there messing this up with this social commentary. Goodness, man. Jon Stewart didn't need this, man. He don't need this to get ahead. Saying he feels he's cheated of his birthright is just one heavy-handed analogy designed to drive a wedge between himself and Hal. This is stupid. The series packs on more still to justify their mutual resentment. It's the kind of swing that needs a lot of time to pay off, more time than Lanterns has to spare. So they're going to go on this angle. You're not even going to pay it off, really, because they're just going to kill Hal, right? So it's like, I don't know, man. We know the Manhunters are in this. Oh, man. That's a downer. That's a downer reading that part, that they're really going to wedge that into the show. Now I see why the critics like this social commentary crap. Let's talk about other side characters. Aaron Pierre, again, they think he's pretty much playing the same character from Rebel Ridge, his Netflix film. They say he's pretty much playing the same character. Okay, that's interesting. But he loosens up later in the series. Hal Jordan has the opposite problem. When playing opposite John, he's forced to go so broad, the humor lands with a thud. So Hal Jordan's corny in this show. It's not until the bravado melts away that Chandler gets to excavate something worthwhile, the feral wounds of a man who puts off his own morality for too long. Yeah, and I like that angle. I like this angle with Hal minus the goofy stuff with John. The series tries too hard to turn this story into something that's not. And in the process, it pushes everything that makes it special just out of frame. Again, you're not going to see a lot of special stuff. It's not that a grounded detective story couldn't soar, given the circumstances, but without heart, or at least a sense of wonder, Lanterns is stuck on the ground. This show is exactly what we think it is, y'all. Restore the Reynolds verse. Yeah, I'm not liking how this is sounding, man. I'm not liking it. Yeah. I prefer John over Hal, but this is bad, bro. He can stay on his own. Exactly. And see, that's why I'm saying, like, you have people, you know, that seen this show. Like, not all of them are like diehard Lanterns fans or comics fans. And so they're looking at it as like HBO audience. Like, the HBO audience may like this show because it's going to have, I think, solid performances. Us that knows the comic characters, these are not our characters. This is not the true Hal Jordan. This is not the true John Stewart. You're going to get the true Guardians. You're not going to get that in this show. So it's also going to be in the back of my mind as I'm watching this show. It's going to be a point where it probably ticks me off, just like the Acolyte. It's going to get to the point where I'm like, no, this is not the character that we know. That's what I feel like this show is going to do overall. So the performance is not going to matter if we're not getting the characters that we signed up for. And that's on Gunn. And it's on HBO as well too. HBO, they killed the idea, the more fantastical idea. They killed this idea from Mark Guggenheim and Berlanti, who wanted to redeem the 2011 Green Lanterns film. They killed that for what we're about to get. This is grounded, true detective, true grit. You know, Hal is like extra unfunny. We're gonna see his descent. Like, he's gonna be this great hero, and we're gonna let's just bring him down and kill him. It did John Stewart. All his redeeming qualities, I think, is not going to be in this show. At least they said for the first 4 episodes or so. But then by the time he becomes the character we want him to be, are we even going to care? You know, okay, you're going to get Hal Jordan out of the way, so he's going to be a better character now because Hal's gone? Like, what are we doing? It's too bad, man. It's too bad. I didn't want this show to become this. I didn't want this to be what we end up with. We're going to see the show tomorrow. I'm going to check it out tomorrow. I'm going to give it a fair shot. But if this is really the characterizations of what they're talking about, this show ain't going to be for me, y'all. It's just not. It's just not. Again, tomorrow I'm going to try to do a watch along. We'll see what platform I use. Stay tuned. On X, Twitter, I'll post about it. On YouTube, I'll post on the bulletin board about it as well, too, to let you know where I'll be watching it at. So we'll see how many episodes I get through, man. I don't know. The way this is sounding, I don't think I'm going to like this. Yeah, WB stopped Zack Snyder for this. For someone who, he does not embody the John Stewart character. It doesn't sound like he will. That's too bad. The latest in Paramount Warner Brothers. There's a lot of conjecture out there as far as with this as well. Let me hit you with a couple bullet points here with Paramount. The last couple of days is that Paramount got its approval from Mexico, meaning over 60 60 areas, 60 lands, or whatever you want to call it, 60 countries have approved the Paramount Warner Brothers deal. The only remaining lawsuit or main contention is here in the States. Here in the States, for political reasons. We know what this is. The state's lawsuit is the only barrier left for this Paramount deal. Now, all indications is, this deal will likely settle. They set a court date to go in March of 2027, which will mark a year after the deal was signed, which isn't bad. As I always mentioned, Discovery announced that it bought Warner Brothers in 2020. They didn't close the deal. It was May 2020. They didn't close the deal until 2022. So it takes 2 years most of the times. Paramount, in essence, got it done in 6 months. But right now you still have the U.S., the 12 states holding it up for political reasons. Long story short, we believe this is going to happen. There are concessions that Paramount is willing to make. The 12 states, they are hiding behind their legal right to challenge this, and they're not trying to negotiate. But now more people are speaking up on it. So let's get into, it says here, Wall Street merger arbs bet on growing odds of Paramount Warner deal success. Meaning Wall Street thinks this is going to happen. Paramount stocks are not plummeting; it's actually going up a little bit. Traders are growing more confident that the 110 billion is actually 111 billion merger between Paramount and Warner Brothers will move forward despite ongoing legal battles with the U.S. states, because the entire world has accepted it. I had some idiot a couple weeks ago, again, some people, they got to stop talking about this deal because everything you say is wrong. And most of the time it's a Netflixer or it's someone for political reasons. You're holding this up for the midterms, or you're a gun guzzler because gun is out once this Paramount deal closes. Even though you lie out there, you guzzler, saying that Ellison promised Gunn will survive. He did not. That's why you're scared, because you're lying. And now it's like, okay, if he really comes in, it's over. Yeah, okay. But yeah, the whole world has approved this Paramount Warner Brothers deal. That's why Wall Street is like, yeah, it's going to go through. Investors are pricing in a greater probability of a settlement, with officials who have tried to stop the deal citing positive signals from public figures and Paramount's pledge to release 30 films a year in theaters. Right? This deal is going to go through. It's inevitable. It's inevitable. Yeah, Bonta, California's attorney general, he's playing politics. Everyone knows it, and he's trying to hold this. He's trying to hold this on until midterms are up, past November. But he's starting to get some pressure. He's trying to get some pressure from his own party, from the Democratic Party. Yeah, everyone around the world is agreeing. And now you have, because you had different reports. Oh, the Writers Guild is against this, and the Actors Guild is against this deal. Well, the Directors Guild, led by Christopher Nolan himself, he said enough is enough. Let's settle this lawsuit. Right? The Directors Guild, among other guilds, wrote a detailed letter because Nolan's head of the Directors Guild. They wrote a letter to Rob Bonta, that's California's attorney general, to reach an agreement with David Ellison rather than drag out a fight to a courtroom next year. So there's pressure. Gavin Newsom spoke up and said, Bonta, like, let's, he's a Democrat. They're both Democrats. They're like, the Democrat Party is now like, come on now. Let's get this settled. We're about to lose jobs in the state. The new governor coming into California, he publicly said, you need to settle this deal because this is not helping the economy, the California economy, because the threat is out there. If these states try to drag this past October, so y'all got 2 months. If you drag this past October 1st, David Ellison is willing to move operations of Paramount out of California. So you're going to lose more jobs in California because of this political angle. And what's crazy about that, what's so gangster about this with Ellison, is that he still feels he will win this in court. So he's saying, according to his people, if this goes past October 1st, because again, it's going to cost Paramount more the longer it goes on. We know that. We're going to move Paramount Studios away from California. And then after we win the case for Warner Brothers, we're going to move Warner Brothers as well, too. That's what Ellison is saying. It's not just, I'm just out. I'm going to move and I'm out. No. Paramount's like, no, we're going to move, but then we're going to take Warner Brothers with us after we beat this case. Because the whole world has agreed. Yeah, there's some concessions here or there, and that's all. This is business. What do you need? Right? What do you want from this deal? Democrats, what do you really want? Is it CNN? Is it really CNN? Now, initially, Ellison does not want to get rid of CNN. He likes the idea of the synergy with CBS News and CNN. You can run different specials and things like that using that. He has publicly said he will put an independent party over CNN to keep things nonpartisan. So it's not like Ellison's not willing to give up CNN. He'd rather not. You can make money from news networks. CNN is trash as is, so I would like to see a shakeup. If I may not even watch it either way. But if that's what it's about, Democrats, then I mean, just come to the table, get this settled. Now it's enough again, political pressure coming to y'all as well. And so there's going to be job loss. It's going to be on y'all watch because, and what I hate that this has become, and is this whole thing of, Trump is going to be behind all this. Bro, Trump's going to be out of office like in a year or so. Don't be so scared of Trump. You're making Trump more powerful than what he really is. If everything you're talking about, I'm scared of Trump. I'm sorry. I don't wake up every day thinking, how am I going to defeat Donald Trump? If he crosses over in my personal life and in my community, then I will have something to say about it. Bro is not part of this deal. Now, can he benefit? Can some of his people benefit? Yeah, I'm sure Trump, yeah. I'm sure Trump will have some kind of benefits if this goes through, or some of his people, I'm sure. But everything can be based off, I'm scared of Trump. I'm sorry, bro. This boogeyman stuff needs to stop. This needs to stop, man. This is not a serious argument at that point. If it's something tangible, then I get it. If it's just CNN, just stand on it. But let's get this over with. Let's wrap this up. We got some movies to make, man. This is getting ridiculous with this back and forth overall. And again, there's always these three groups of people that finds a reason to hate this Paramount deal. Again, our reason here, let's make it very clear, why am I saying, I hope this go through? But now we're at the point where Zack, he's good with Warner Brothers too. He's on a Warner Brothers lot. Personally being invited there. And he was on a Paramount lot. So Zack, I think, is good either way. If this deal delays, which I don't want this to, but if it does, I think Zack's good either way. Let's say this deal is held up through next summer, 2027. Gunn and Safran's contract's up April 2027, which I believe that means DC's going to fall under DeLuca and Abdi. And Zack is good with DeLuca and Abdi. I think Zack's going to do DC no matter what. Okay. If Paramount closes his deal this year, I think he'll do something with DC and the Saudis will be involved. If this deal delays, I think Zack will do DC and DeLuca and Abdi will be involved. So we're good either way here. And then two, again, why do we favor Paramount? It's the obvious connection with the Saudis and Zack Snyder. That's it. As a Snyder fan, I don't know how you missed this point. You Netflixers out there, I don't know how you missed this point. Actually cheering against Paramount, who has the Saudis signed on, who literally works with Zack Snyder. They about to do the Brawler film. They praise Zack Snyder. They want to do more productions in Saudi Arabia over there with their new sets. And you're a Snyder fan, and you only want Zack Snyder if he's on Netflix? When's the next Zack Snyder project on Netflix? Please tell me. Please. Any Netflixer. I've been asking this question for a year. If you're going to ride hard for Netflix, at least have a Zack Snyder project to prompt up. That's all I'm saying. But those are the three groups, the Netflixers, they somehow they're against Zack working with people that likes him. You rather work with people that don't like him, Netflix. And then the political angle, and then the gun glazers. You already know with that. We just want to finish Zack's story. Who's going to do it? Netflix ain't doing it. They want to keep cheering for them. Insane. Make it make sense. Really, really make it make sense. Because it doesn't make sense. People make Trump out to be way more powerful than he is. It's really ridiculous. It's ridiculous at this point. Right? It's really ridiculous at this point. Like, Trump is on his way out. Like, he's probably losing cognizant abilities and stuff. Like, he's got to be done. Don't worry about Trump so much, y'all. Just don't. Your days will go better. I promise. I promise your day will go better. It'll set you free. Zack Snyder's in a good position, and James Gunn. Yeah, Zack is good. He's going to do it either way, y'all. That's where I'm at. After Gunn and Safran's contract expires in April, Pam and Mike will be the de facto heads of DC regardless. Exactly. So DC's going to fall under them. They have the brand. All right, Zack, let's get this going. Let's make this official. Zack's doing DC again. And I see no way of this going any differently. Either Paramount jumps in first. If this delays, I think Warner Brothers got him. That's where I'm at. I wish Netflix would have got him. It's like, what's being lost in this? We wanted Netflix to be great for Zack Snyder. For years, we're like, oh, yeah, Rebel Moon. We're there, part 1, part 2, director's cut. Now, they fumbled that as far as releasing it. Who's hoping for the best? And then y'all just ghosted Zack. We heard nothing in 2 years. Been 2 years. And they still want to hold down like Netflix is the opus of where Zack Snyder needs to be. Come on, man. Whenever I ask them how they are, they start talking about him. Like I said, Trump has this following. Like, I have, some of my viewers, they're I guess constituted as MAGA or whatever, but they know I have my open mind on things. And if you want to support Trump, go, do your thing, whatever. I mean, he's the president of the country that I'm in. And that's pretty much as far as I go with it. It's like, he's not going to take over, Paramount and do all this stuff. It's like, goodness. I mean, I think no matter what side, I'm not going to make this a political thing, but no matter what side people are on in politics, I look at the policies and what really benefits me directly. I don't get into all this other stuff. So that is what it is. We'll move forward. No Army of the Dead sequel, no Rebel Moon sequel, nothing. I've just said, just you Netflix out there. I know some of y'all quietly watch this. Y'all subtweet me. Like, seriously. Where's this faith? Like, what has Netflix done for Zack Snyder in the last 2 years? What are they about to do for Zack Snyder? Please tell me. And don't say it's some kind of Rebel Moon exhibit in some Netflix house, a mobile game. Don't do that. We're serious here, man. We want some projects, man. Bro, talking about the mobile game's hot. Okay, that's cool. But can we get a movie? Goodness, bro. Because y'all been playing too long with this Netflix stuff, man. Y'all play. And now it's like we're hearing Netflix allegedly is paying off the California Attorney General, Rob Bonta, to oppose a Paramount deal. Are boys on the take out there? Is Netflix paying y'all? Because you're not doing this for Zack. This ain't for Zack anymore. Zach's on every lot. He was in the A24 office. He was in the Paramount lot, Warner Brothers lot. I see no pictures with him in Netflix. But that's the way. Come on now, man. Come on. We got to stop this. I let stuff go. I let stuff slide. We got to stop this. It's getting comical. James Gunn can eat my Cheerios. Whoa, where'd that come from? Where'd that come from?
I'm fighting for my life. Y'all killing me with this. I give y'all 30 years of my career. 30 years of my career.
Oh, man. Yeah, politics shouldn't take over your life, man. It shouldn't take over your life. For sure, for sure. Like I said, there's different. I love, like me personally, like just in real life, like I like talking about different policies and stuff that benefits my area and my community. I love talking about stuff like that. But just people get so gang related with it, where you either got the blue rag or the red rag, and it's all fights. It's like we gotta start getting back to human conversations. It's not going to happen. Okay, this is going to be a small, segment of people. The majority, it will never happen. They're into their gang-related politics. So it is what it is, man. That's why I'm trying to get too much into it. I'm saying, Feely, like really, Feely, is boys getting paid? Is boys getting paid out here? Because you can't be going this hard for Netflix and you act like it's for Zack Snyder. You can't be going hard. You can't be going hard like this, bro. My goodness. So again, I expect a settlement. Like I say, every week we come up here, we're going to do our updates on Paramount. Yeah, they get paid, but like you can't. It's no way this is for Zach anymore, right? Now it's to the point where it's just they want photo ops, or like they ain't know, like with Peely would go there into that Frank Miller situation and does a viral moment because it's for the people. He's saying, Zach, we want y'all another team up film, Justice League 2 and 3. That's what the people want, right? The people ain't clamoring for Netflix. You see, if Netflix would have done that, if Netflix would have done Justice League 2, we would be rocking with them. But it's been 2 years, bro. They have done nothing. And Zack Snyder's on every other studio except Netflix right now. So I think that makes it clear. But if we're talking about we're Snyder fans, but if they're getting paid, you know what? I ain't even mad. Feely. Yeah, he went there on their turf, right? Peely went there, and I guess someone was in the building, right, Peely? You told us that we had the video. You came in and talked about it, and you went in there for the people. That's what Peely's always done for the fandom, And like I said, that went viral. Standing on, we want Justice League 2 and 3. Everyone else, all these other groups. We want our they want their hashtag, they want their trending event. Like, as a fandom, we're past trending events. What do I mean by that? We don't even have to set a time anymore. As a Snyder fandom, we can just say, let's make this pop right now. Zach just posted something on Instagram. Let's trend Zack Snyder instantly. That's where the fandom is at right now. His Netflix stuff is crazy, man. It's really crazy. I can't believe how many people really. Well, it ain't even a lot of people. It's just that they're still talking about it. It's not a lot of people, but we're looking forward again to this closing, right? And it'll be updates weekly. So now we've been through the Snyderverse. I was gonna cut that short. YouTube hates when that song come up, bro. They're like, oh, let's cancel the stream. Is Zach back? Is Zach back? That's all. That's all we need to talk about right now. We talked about Zack Snyder showing up on the Warner Brothers lot, right? All in the videos, talking about it. And then this past week, a very interesting article came out chronicling what Zack Snyder was doing at Warner Brothers, confirming a lot of our suspicions of what's going on. Why was he there? What transpired when Zack Snyder was on the Warner Brothers lot? Inside Zack Snyder's shock return to Warner Brothers lot as bosses rally miserable staff amid Paramount deal purgatory. A very depressing title because it is written by Tatiana Siegel, right? So this is the notorious Tatiana Siegel. So of course, there's going to be some conjecture in here amongst what really happened. We got Pam and Mike right there. They've always been our savior. You know, in 2022, that was one of the first things I told y'all, that they was bringing back Henry, Ben, Zach was coming back. You know, Henry was in Black Adam. That was thanks to DeLuca and Abdi. That's why you saw Henry Cavill in there. They tried to get him in the Flash film. They had Ben in Aquaman 2. And then when Gunn came in after Black Adam bombed, unfortunately, Zaslav 180'd on them. I told y'all that week when Black Adam bombed, up to that point, DeLuca and Abdi was in all the DC conversations. And as soon as that bombed, Zaslav kicked them out of the DC conversations, right? It was Gunn and Safran now. And they were supposedly building some plan. They really don't have a plan. Gunn and Safran don't have a plan. Like, this slate, you know, just fell apart. You're going to get less than, 40%? You're going to get about 40% of this stuff happening. Waller's dead. I don't believe Booster Gold's happening. Paradise Lost is dead. They don't even mention Swamp Thing anymore because it's not happening. Brave and the Bold, not happening. Authority dead. Yeah, it's a wrap. So Zaslav pushed out DeLuca and Abdi. Another mistake from Zaslav. And they thought that they could build this DC attack plan with Gunn and Safran, right? But now, as things have turned, as the tables have turned, as I said, I think Zach's good either way, y'all. Yes, I want the Paramount deal to close today because of the Saudi connection. I know there'll be more money to be infused into Warner Brothers. So I think Zach will get everything, right? But if it delays, there's still an angle with Warner Brothers directly, right? Who's ever rocking with Zack Snyder, we're rocking with him. That's why we're saying that we ain't down with this Netflix stuff. Is y'all ain't rocking with Zack Snyder. In fact, allegedly, Netflix is working totally against the Paramount deal. It says here, like the plot twist from some superhero sequel, deposed DC maven Zack Snyder returned to the Warner Brothers lot on last Monday. In a major sign, the studio and his once favorite son are ready to bury the hatchet following a messy split in 2021. See, Tatiana, it's like she act like Zach hasn't been rocking with DeLuca and Abdi since 2022. I hate these agenda pieces, man. I hate this, but okay. She's leaving out stuff. That's just what upsets me. Yes, it was a messy split after the Snyder Cut came out, and then Zach was like, suck it, Warner Brothers. Yeah. And then a new regime came in. All of a sudden, you have full circle. Now Zach's back on the lot. So let's catch up this story, Tatiana Siegel. Sources tell Page Six Hollywood that Snyder, who held the reins of the DC universe, is for the better part of a decade before he and Warner Bros. Parted ways, returned to Burbank lot to host a screening of director John Boorman's 1981 Arthurian epic Excalibur. for staffers. Like, it was one thing. We was already excited that Zack took the picture. I'm at Warner Brothers. And we're, because we talked about this, was it last week or 2 weeks ago? We was like, oh, yeah, this is dope. Like, Zack, he's on the lot. We know this has something to do with DeLuca and Abdi. We know there's a connection right there. And we was feeling good that, he's on the lot. It's all good. When you find out he was there to host a screening of Excalibur, as Snyder fans, like, if you know, you got it instantly. Zack Snyder has used Excalibur, teasing the Snyder Cut. He's used Excalibur. Parts of BVS was directly influenced by Excalibur. So the fact that Zack was back on the Warner Bros. Lot, and you have other outlets saying, "Oh, it was just there to screen Excalibur for some reason." Oh, that's how I know who's Snyder fans and who's not. Who's real Snyder fans out there? You got that immediately. You're like, "Oh, Zack, you a meta dude, Zack Snyder." Okay, you're a very meta dude. Back on the lot, DeLuca and Abdi. Hey, I'm just gonna show y'all Excalibur. Yes, like that was a tease when people were saying the Snyder Cut didn't exist, and Zack was using Excalibur to tease it. Like, insane Zack Snyder. About the Grail, exactly. That was like in 2019. So it's like when he said he's watching Excalibur, I'm like, it's over. To me, Zack's already back, y'all. I'm just saying, I don't know intel. This is not a scoop. I'm saying I'm putting the pieces together as a Zack Snyder fan. Zack's doing DC again, looking like it'll be next year. Right? That's where I'm at. That's where I'm at with that. Unbelievable. You back on the lot of all films, Excalibur, Zack? Oh my goodness. Snyder received a hero's welcome at the event. Spies said, "You sound slimy, Tatiana." My spies, as a full house of motion picture group employees and guests converged. Some even standing for a Q&A between the Man of Steel director and studio bosses, DeLuca and Abdi. No cameras were allowed, but there's a clip that came out there where Zack is like, make every movie like it's your last, right? That's why Zack pours so much into Man of Steel and BVS. Zack's like, if I never get the chance to do this again, I'm going to give you everything. I'm going to give you the warehouse scene, right? We're going to do the death of Superman. We're going to do everything. Wonder Woman, the greatest entrance ever in CBM history, right? Snyder Cut. Everything in the Snyder Cut. Zack made moments with Cyborg, Flash, Superman's Return, etc. So he had great advice for them in the house there. It says DeLuca and Abdi launched the movie nights when they joined Warner's in 2022 to celebrate the story, studio's library, and its filmmakers. The popular staff screenings have more recently become a way of rallying the troops. Interesting. DeLuca and Abdi use these screenings to rally the troops, and you bring in Zack Snyder to watch Excalibur? You're rallying the troops for what? This is like a welcome home. That's what this is the only way I can take this, y'all. I can't be like, maybe this, maybe that. This is literally, they brought the man back to Warner Brothers. It says, after all, morale is at an all-time low at the studio, whose fate remains uncertain as a coalition of 12 state attorney generals, led by California's Rob Bonta, tries to block the proposed Paramount deal, right? One exec who once opposed David and Larry Ellison's quest for Warner Brothers is now more annoyed at Bonta's performative blockade than the inevitable consolidation, and described the collective vibe as demoralized. So these states, these blue states, we know the angle here is midterms, so they want to make a stance, for their respective states for the midterms. So that's one thing. We heard about the Netflix angle that apparently Netflix is buying off the Attorney General to oppose Paramount. That's the report out there. All right, is it true or not? I mean, it makes sense that Netflix is pretty slimy behind closed doors, like they're agents. So they're at the point now they're slowing down business. Now, if Paramount could come in this quarter, they can start setting up films for next year. The 30 plus films a year. They promise they're going to put it in writing. They're promising the theaters, we're giving y'all 30 films a year. And some people are like, oh, is that possible? Is that possible? If you keep both studios separately, yes. And I believe Ellison will do that. I think Ellison will allow Warner Brothers to be Warner Brothers. We just own you. And if we have some ideas, we could use your IP. We could do whatever we want. And then we got to step up as well as Paramount. So people take it like, well, Disney bought Fox. Well, Disney absorbed Fox. Paramount, Warner Brothers, if they remain separate in operations, I think you easily can get your 30 films a year. And then some people's like, well, that means it has to be a film like every other week and stuff like. What's the problem with that? Why is that a problem? A film, every week and a half. Why is that a problem? Like Warner Brothers, they've done that, releasing films close to each other and different genres, different audiences. You're not going to release Transformers and Superman the same weekend. No, you're not going to do it. Or Transformers and Batman or Ninja Turtles and Wonder Woman. No, you're going to space the genres out. That makes no sense. You could do Sinners and Batman same weekend, different audiences. So I mean, again, and a lot of people that they're caught up on this Paramount deal. Again, it's the three groups that I talked about. They have their agendas, political. They're scared of Trump or whatever, something like that. Guzzlers, Glazers, Netflixers. I mean, this is what it is. There's no coincidences with Zack, for sure. Ain't none. But now with the blue states holding up this deal again, they're affecting the movie industry now with these shenanigans. Now they're like, hey, they're just annoying people now, trying to block this deal. The entire world has approved this, y'all. UK, Mexico, everywhere has approved this deal. It's literally just some blue states. Then this deal will be closed right now. And I believe a settlement will happen. It says here, Snyder's inclusion certainly raised eyebrows, even if nearly all the executives and creatives he battled to bring his 242-minute Zack Snyder's Justice League to the screen are long gone, several of whom secured their own related settlements. That's why I've always say, like, people's like, oh, Warner Brothers sucks and stuff. All the execs that was battling Zack, they're mostly gone. There's still some brand execs up there. There's still some in there. But on the movie side, the just strictly film studio side, they're all gone, right? What are Mike and Pam thinking? Asked one current executive who lived through the tumultuous period when Snyder fans harangued and targeted the studio for enlisting Joss Whedon to oversee reshoots and post-production on the 2017 Justice League. Why were we opposed to that? What was the result of that Justice League? So yeah, phrase that right, Tatiana. We were right to be like, nah, this is trash. Because y'all know it's trash. Justice League. That film wound up being a schizophrenic superhero stew. There we go. She says it here. That squandered DC's holy trinity of Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman. Made $661 million worldwide. That's more than James Gunn's Superman. A far cry from Avengers level box office. Yeah, but it made more than James Gunn's Superman. Justice. Or well, people say, oh, well, that's when superhero business was booming. But now, just because you had a superhero film doesn't mean you guaranteed to make money. You had to actually bring in an audience. Every superhero film didn't make $1 billion back then. The Marvel had the brand, and so they were selling like hotcakes. But what other superhero franchise was successful outside of BVS, Man of Steel? There were other attempts at superhero films, and they didn't make it. So it ain't just you guaranteed you come out around that time. No, Justice made more than James Gunn's Superman. Okay. Speculation is now mounting that Snyder may be back in the fold for more than just hosting duties. Snyder is writing and directing a remake of 1981 cult classic Escape from New York for Studio Canal. In December, that company signed a new multi-year, multi-territorial agreement. I don't know what that was supposed to mean, but we hear that it should come as no surprise if Snyder's Escape from New York soon lands on Warner's distribution calendar. I don't think it's just no Escape from New York. I don't think it's just for some Dark Knight Returns. We coming for everything, bro. Okay? Now, they're already talking about Zack working with Warner Brothers again. All right? These are people, these are shields. These are people that's not on Zack's side. The chatter is out there. They're forced to admit there's speculation Zack may be back in the fold with Warner Brothers. Okay? So that's what we on. That's what we on. Hey, Zack's back with Warner Brothers, y'all. Okay? Now, you think Zack Snyder will come back with Warner Brothers? Let's say Dark Knight Returns. You think Zack would just agree to do DC again with Warner Brothers just to do Dark Knight Returns? Like, that's what it says. It's got to be a separator of who's Zack Snyder fans and who's not. Like the whole Excalibur thing. Like, you don't get this. You don't get what's going on right now. We're good either way. If this Paramount deal closes today, we're definitely good. If it delays, we're still good with Warner Brothers. Do we understand this? Zack is back with Warner Brothers, and he's not going to come back just to tiptoe around the Snyderverse. Are you serious? Who's ever even doubting this? When this man is back, he's back for everything. No room for more. Room for more. Zack is back, y'all. And now the streets are talking. Now people don't even like him are having to admit, like, yeah, he's about to work with Warner Brothers again. Yeah. And that means he's going to do DC again. And that means he's going to finish the story. He's going to finish it. There's no other way this could go. How do you go back to Warner Bros., who owns DC? You have online campaigns for him to do more DC every day. He talks about DC almost every week at least. Pretty sure he brings this up to DeLuca and Abdi. First off, this isn't true. You missed everything we talked about up to this point. So you jump in, hey, it's Paramount deal. It's like I want you to go back to my Paramount segment and then and follow up your comments. Then be a part of the replay crowd, because you just came in real late. You just came in. People just read what they hear on the internet. We've covered this every week. This is the WB Paramount Saudis DC Snyderverse weekly show. I got that covered. You thought you came in here giving some kind of update. Blackmail? What blackmail? It's a settlement. Okay, this is gonna be fun. We kind of zone out. This is gonna be fun. Let's humor this. Let's humor this. All right. Paramount blackmail is not going to win a merger. So what is going to let us know? Fill us in, Brelly Ghosts. What do you know? Since I'm assuming you've been covering this for several for several months at this point, like myself. But fill us in. You said not the 20, the 28 to 28. That's wrong right there. Well, even if this deal delays, it won't take to 2028. So you just made that up. So that's one thing. Blackmail. You sound like a Democrat shield. Actually, I'm gonna be quite honest with you. You sound like a Democrat shield. So there's three groups that don't want this deal to close. It's for political reasons. You're a gun glazer or you're a Netflixer. You sound like the Democrat shield. So even if Paramount leaves California, this isn't blackmail. They still will win the case and then take Warner Bros. Out of California as well, too. This isn't blackmail. This is a promise. You mean blackmail. You want to stop my business. I'm supposed to just stay in your state. You know, just accept you trying to stop my business. I'm just trying to understand. That's blackmail? I have the right to move my business. You can take it like blackmail all you want. It's a promise. The deal is done, just delayed. Paramount's trying to speed up the process. Yeah, I mean, it's going to be settled. I mean, we got Nolan and the Directors Guild imploring the Democrat states to settle. This deal will have a settlement. Yeah, today's Batfleck's birthday for sure. The greatest Batman ever. I'm saying they come up with these talking points, Peely. It's like I don't cover this every week since last year. Oh, here we go. Oh, here we go. I love this. Oh, it's like a bullet point. I know what's coming every time. Paramount is already bleeding money. They have no real leverage. It's an empty threat. So bleeding money. So Paramount's backed by. Is he like the richest man in the world? Larry Ellison? How are you bleeding money? You have the richest man in the world. He's worth $200 billion. He's paying for half of this deal. Please tell me, how are they bleeding money? You have the richest man on your side. Please, like, this makes no sense saying stuff like this. There's no real leverage. They could move their company from California. Tennessee already said, hey, that'd be great. Tennessee, I got family in Tennessee. That'd be great if they go to Tennessee. It's not no empty threat. You better settle or you're going to lose more jobs, California. What's next on your bullet point of the Democrat shields? Let me know. What's next on the bullet point? I don't care. I don't care if you're a Democrat shield or MAGA. I don't care. See, we're talking about movies now. Oh, Trump. You see what I said earlier? That's why you missed the earlier part of this show. When in doubt, as a Democrat shield, when in doubt, yell Trump. I'm not scared of Trump. I'm not scared of Biden, Kamala, whoever else you want to put, Gavin. We're talking about movies, bro. This man said, oh, when in doubt, Trump. Oh my goodness. That is amazing. Yeah, I hope they go to Tennessee. Like I said, hey, that brings some good business to that state. He broke that glass in case of emergency. As soon as he was like, oh, you coming to me? I'm a Democrat. Trump, break the glass, Trump. That don't work here, bro. That don't work here. What do you think that Paramount would do the states that delayed them and cost them money? It's business. Exactly. It's just business. It ain't no blackmail. I don't know why that term blackmail. It's like, no. If this happens, or if this don't happen by this date, this is what I'm about to do. Right? That's all it is. Trump. I swear, some people just wake up, they look in the mirror. You hate Trump. You hate him. Go out there and hate him more. Hey, bro, that man don't affect my life like this, y'all. I'm sorry. He don't. They have Saudi money as well, too. For sure. All we want is Snyderverse. Who cares about Paramount leaving? Exactly, bro. We talk about these movies. How dare you, Trump? Oh man, it's crazy, bro. It's crazy out here. Snyder derangement syndrome. Yeah, that's all it was. That's all it was. They're trying to buy WB for Trump. So what's Trump gonna do with WB? Please. What's next on your bullet point here? What is Trump gonna do to WB? Because somehow he's gonna own it, pseudo own it through David Ellison. Well, Larry Ellison's his friend, right? So whatever his friend buys, so Trump owns Oracle too, right now, right? Don't he? According to your logic, what is Trump gonna do to WB? Please let me know. Please. Please. Oh boy. Yeah, no one cares about CNN. I hope, you know what? I'm just gonna say it. This may upset some people, but no, really. I hope Trump takes over CNN just because. Because CNN is trash, Fox News is trash, MSNBC is trash. I look at independent media. That's what I look at. He's gonna make Warner Brothers great again. You shouldn't trust mainstream media. You really shouldn't. So again, we know why they are all up in arms about CNN. We know why. They want to control the narrative when it's time for election season, especially with these midterms coming up. Let's see, being pro-Israel more than pro-Trump. You saying Warner Brothers? They want Warner Brothers? I mean, Trump's pro-Israel, so I don't know. I'm out of context of what you're saying now. Iger just bought the Lakers with Trump's son-in-laws. Yeah, I don't mess with mainstream media. Yeah, I mean, it's not. I don't think it's for our best interest. It's controlling the narrative, right? That's just how I look at it. You know, that just is what it is. But so you think, and I do want to entertain it. I know I was joking and stuff, but okay, here we go. Ellisons are pro-Israel. So you're thinking, so this is political then. So that's what we said before. Everybody's in three boxes here. We got the fourth box, us, that has an open mind. It's not caught up in the politics, right? In the being gun glazers or Netflixers, you know. Can we go back to talking comics and laser beam movies? Jeez, exactly. Shout out to Latino Slant out there. Can we just go back to talking movies? Because all I'm saying, if you're looking at this Paramount Warner Bros. Deal as some political angle, I look at it as business. I look at it as just business, and you do business with different people's different backgrounds. It ain't just like an all pro-Israel crowd, all pro, Palestine crowd. I don't believe that's how you really get business done. You got to reach across the aisles, I think, with everything. That's just my philosophy, right? They made CBS pro-Israel. Why do you think they installed Barry Weiss? Yeah, that, like I said, according to what Ellison is saying, he wants CNN to have an independent, and actually put an independent group over CNN to oversee it. So I'm going to take his word for it. My thing, though, is I don't watch Barry Weiss. Why are you even watching? Why are you even watching her? You know what I'm saying? It's trash. This news is trash overall. They want Israel to control everything. Well, until that day happens, I'm going to live it up till Israel owns everything. And then I believe in something higher than all this, right? I don't wake up worrying about, what's this man going to plot? What's this man going to plot? I know what's on my side. And I know ultimately how this is going to go. People go do this fear-mongering, pro-Israel, all you want. I don't worry about that. I'll just say that. Yeah, don't watch CBS. If you have a problem with Barry Weiss, don't watch CBS News. I don't even watch it. Now, if they really change over CNN or more independent, I may watch CNN for once. Like I'll probably turn on CNN during elections, like every 4 years. That's probably the only time. I don't watch it for midterms. I don't do that. But for the big election every 4 years, I'll turn on CNN because they have good graphics and all this stuff. But then I go years without watching it. But if they actually change over their structure, I'm gonna give it a shot. Actually, CBS with Barry Weiss, I knew as soon as they put her there, I was like, I ain't watching CBS. So I knew what I was gonna get. Like I know what I'm gonna get when I watch MSNBC. I know what I'm gonna get, right? So it goes both ways, man. Only movie news. Exactly. And that's what we do here. We concentrate on the news. I really ain't with the political side because it gets too speculative and personal. And it's like, bro, hey, wherever land you're under, just follow the laws of your land. Keep it rocking. Like that's how I look at life, man. Like whatever country you're at, just respect the laws of your land. I mean, yeah, use your voice if you need to. I think policies are important. You know, I don't really get caught up in parties. So that's just where I'm at. That's just where I'm at, man. Where Fernando come from? Fernando, where you come from, Fernando? What are you talking about right now? Fernando, are you black? Are you black, Fernando? Or Jewish? Are you black or Jewish? That's all I want to know. Are you black or Jewish? If you're neither, you probably just shut up. But I ain't with comparing. Oh, is it just as bad as this? Bruh, let the community speak for themselves. If you're neither, you shouldn't say nothing. In fact, I don't even know how you're still talking on this channel. he could be both. That's cool. But that's why I'm just asking him a question. Are you black or Jewish? And don't speak on other communities' concerns. Comparing, oh, this is just bad as that. You know, stay in your lane. You can give your opinion. Don't compare stuff like that. I don't think you're in a place to do that, to be quite honest with you. I don't think you're in a place to do that. So we'll just leave it at that. I don't know how you still comment on the channel. I thought somebody blocked you last time anyway. so it's but last thing, I know we went political for a minute there, y'all. That's why I don't try to do that too much. Movie talk. Last thing was Zack Snyder. That's good. Then he should speak on just gun loving stuff. All right. Don't speak on no other community, Fernando. Don't speak on black community, Jewish community, Snyder community. Just speak on gun. Final thing, Zack Snyder did have a post. We wrap this up. We gotta wrap this up. Zack Snyder posted. Now, there's a lot of speculation of Dark Knight Returns. Is Zack really gonna do it? Not sure if there's a connection with this post and the rumors out there, but Zack's been teasing DC, week after week, counting down the anniversary, all kinds of stuff, right? So I just think anytime Zack is posting DC, he's saying it's still on his mind. Now he's back on the Warner Brothers lot. Now the Shields are saying, oh, Zack's about to work with Warner Brothers again. And we know if you let Zack Snyder back in that building, you know he's going to do DC. If he's going to do DC, we feel he's going to finish the story. So there's a thing out there, and this is probably the last thing I'll say. First, this post here, as Zack, this was yesterday, right? Zack said, build your wings on the way down. Ben and I on the set of BVS. Now that phrase, build your wings on the way down, like, you just jump and build your wings, saying just go for it. You'll figure it out as you go down, right? Hopefully you figure it out before you crash. So that's what Zack was saying. That's a philosophy that he lives by with his films. Just go for it, right? But that's an interesting lesson to bring up. Like, you just on Warner Brothers lot. Now you're saying just go for it. What you going for, Zack? Is it Dark Knight Returns? Right? And I feel I'm mixed on this. So first, I mean, I accept any DC Zack Snyder does. That's the first thing. I see some rumblings out there with Snyder fans. I just want to make it very clear. Whatever DC Zack Snyder does, I'm going to accept it. So that's first thing. Zack hinted towards, the Frank Miller Dark Knight Returns comic. And when Peely was there in the audience and he was like, make ZSJL 2, but Zack talked about Dark Knight Returns at that event. And he was like, whenever they let us do it, meaning Warner Brothers, when they let us do it, right? And Zack was basically like, well, the story's already written because of Frank Miller's comic. So that's the interesting wrinkle there, because I always felt if Zack was going to do Dark Knight Returns, that he would make it fit in the Snyderverse. That's just what I thought he would do, or do that Batman film that was bridging ZSJL to part 2, right? Because, at the end of Snyder Cut, he's setting up the Batman film. He has him standing on the Bat tank. He got some mutants down there. That's Dark Knight Returns. So, not that it's going to be a straight beat for beat adaptation, will it? So it's two different ways. There's two different ways that I'm kind of feeling about this. That if this is a true Elseworld Dark Knight Returns, and shout out to Vega in the chat, I see you. I'm with the whole Elseworld thing if that's what Zack wants to do, and I feel this could be like a lower budget project that Warner Bros. Could just let him do until he does the bigger Justice League films. That's kind of where I'm at with that. I was hoping Dark Knight Returns was just another name of the Batfleck movie to bridge it to ZSJL 2. That was my hopes. But at the end of the day, I trust Zack Snyder's choice with this. That's what he's going to do overall. Got Vega. Zack is back. Restore the Snyderverse. Hashtag Sil Nation. For sure. Shout out to Vega. Zack's back. The Shields are nervous now. They know that Zack's back. So, yeah, I'm taking it as absolute certainty. If it's just a 1% chance, I'm taking it. And that's what he's doing. So that's where I'm at. I'm kind of torn just with not accepting it, but I'm torn with, how's this going to fit with finishing his story? If it's part of his story, then great. If it's separate, then that means he'll do this first and then do his big films after that, right? That's kind of where I'm at. Let's see what we're saying in the chat as we zone out. I apologize for the political angle for a moment there. That just, that never goes anywhere in real life. Let's see what we got here. It could start with the Dark Knight Returns and make it before. Yeah, that's kind of where I'm at, Jovic, where it's like, because this could be a relatively smaller film, and it could be, an event in itself, and then do Justice League. I know most of us are like, if you're going to do DC, can't we just do GSJL 2 and 3? Can we just do that? I'm not mad at this. Again, I think Zack would nail this. And it seems to be a dream project for him too, as well. Like, just like Last Photograph was a dream project. He made that. He's been talking about Dark Knight Returns for a while. It's still Zack and the Snyderverse connection, or it's not? Let's go, Zack. Yeah. I'm good with whatever he does. There we go. I was waiting for somebody to say this. Tell me you haven't read The Dark Knight Returns without telling me you haven't read The Dark Knight Returns. This is the last thing. I was waiting for someone to say that. I was just waiting. So what? How is BVS an adaptation of Dark Knight Returns? And before you say the suit and he fights Superman, name something else. Well, how was the Dark Knight Returns an adaptation? BVS was an adaptation of BVS. I'm gonna give you a minute to get your words together. That's the last thing. Or in the chat, or let me know if you truly feel that way. It's not to make fun of you or nothing, but you haven't read Dark Knight Returns. Yeah, he said BVS was a Dark Knight Returns adaptation. So I'm just asking. I would like some examples. They used the suit. Okay. So they use Doomsday. Is BVS a Death of Superman adaptation? I would love to hear. Now, if you just haven't read The Dark Knight Returns, then that's probably when you kind of tuck your chain in and walk away. No, Mr. Warlock, you can't comment nothing else till you answer this question. You can't jump in there and talk about James Gunn in the chat. You need to answer this question, bro. This ain't on delay. This man gonna come in there, say something totally false, and then jump to James Gunn should finish the story. Okay, here we go. So you haven't read The Dark Knight Returns, Mr. Warlock. I just want to break that news to you. Okay. You never read it. If you think the story is just about an old Batman in a BVS suit and he fights Superman, fighting what system? What system is he fighting in BVS? You just made that up. Look at it. Are you Googling this? What system is Batman fighting in BVS? He's using AI. He's using AI. Oh my goodness. The prison system. That's not in Dark Knight Returns. So what are you talking about, bro? You're disqualified, bro. Nice try. Nice try. Man, you gun fans, y'all hilarious, bro. Hilarious. The Dark Knight Returns is a dystopian future story. Is that BVS? Dark Knight Returns has Carrie Kelly. Is that in BVS? There's a mutant gang. The government controls Superman. The fight is in a different pretense. Green Arrow is in the fight in Dark Knight Returns. None of that is in BVS. The reason that they fight is different in Dark Knight Returns. The way the fight goes is different in Dark Knight Returns. Bro's behind a computer, like he's just fighting the system. Like, what was that? Well, you're not banned. No, we like stupid comments. No. As long as you're not attacking people in the chat, we want to see your stupid comments, Mr. Warlock. you're not banned. I just told you half of the Dark Knight Returns right there. That's not in BVS. So it's going to be a different story. The fight ends. The fight goes totally different in the comic. this man. Hey, you're not bad. You're not bad. Oh, man. Oh, man. I was waiting on that comment, y'all. I was waiting on someone. I was waiting on someone to say that. It's the same as Dark Knight Returns. You haven't read that comic. And that's okay. It's not me pulling rank. Hey, I'm of a dying breed. Like a lot of people probably for my generation, millennials, we grew up reading comics. Baby boomers older than us, they've read comics growing up. These newer generations, like this guy in the chat, they didn't grow up reading the comics like we did, and that's fine. It's not pulling rank or anything, but don't talk about something you don't know. That's all. That's all. Don't say that. Don't act like you know something, and you're using AI to talk. Last minute comments or questions, throw it in the chat. As we zone this one out, very interesting show today. Really excited for the X-Men. Really excited for that. My new muse, Maya Boyd, the new Storm. Y'all can't tell me nothing about her. Okay, that's just what it is. Looking forward to the X-Men. Hopefully they do it right. Overall, the DCU crumbling. Lanterns tomorrow. Again, stay tuned on my platforms. I want to do a live reaction to Lanterns tomorrow because I have the Sunday off. So this is only right. It's only right. We got to watch this live together some way. So more details to come on that. And the latest with Paramount, again, coming for the real news. Everyone else talking about conjecture and politics and all this stuff. We're talking about the real news. We want more movies. If he's promising more movies, I say, hey, let's let them roll and get more movies. And Zack Snyder is back. Zack Snyder is back. Yeah, hey man, like I said, love at first sight, man. It just hits you. You can't control it. It just hits you, man. Amazing. Yeah, these guys are hilarious, bro. They're hilarious. They make things interesting. Zack is very adept at adapting the source material. BVS wasn't. It just wasn't. I mean, again, yeah, I get it. Like the suit, like that's what we first thought. We was like, oh, this Dark Knight. Maybe he did the pose. He did the Dark Knight Returns pose. That's elements that's inspired by, but he didn't adapt the story. He just didn't. So if he actually adapts the story, we're getting a different experience. If you just say, "Oh, old Batman, the suit, he fights Superman," that's very generic. You didn't read the comic, and again, that's fine. I'm not judging you. Well, I'm judging you, Mr. Warlock, but I'm not judging most people, because it's not about that. Like people grow up, they don't read as much comics as we did, So I get it a lot. It's probably a whole generation that hasn't really read that. But that would be interesting if Zack makes this film. Then that would get people to go back to that graphic novel or the comic with that. So yeah, he's crashing out now. He's crashing out. Yeah. Is Man of Tomorrow DOA. So what's funny? I think I'm withholding judgment on a lot of stuff right now. With Paramount coming into the building, you hear all these shows getting canceled, right? Waller, Paradise Lost, Booster Gold. I don't think Booster Gold is going to happen, but Gunn may try to shop one of these shows to a third party to get his producer credit and all this stuff, right? So that'll be funny if like one of these shows go to Netflix or Amazon. HBO doesn't want it, right? And then Paramount comes to the building. Is Jimmy Olsen safe? Is this show really safe, right? It may be like, first did HBO has not officially announced a Jimmy Olsen show. Let me double check if because I believe. Let's see. It's all about HBO for these TV shows, and I don't think they announced anything yet. So I'm not guaranteeing even HBO wants that show. Now, will they shop Jimmy Olsen and put that on Amazon? You see what I'm saying? Let's see. It's in development. It says it's in development. So okay. We'll go with that. But I still don't think it's safe, right? I don't think it's so. Man of Tomorrow. What does that mean for Man of Tomorrow? I think the biggest benefit Man of Tomorrow has is that it's the only DC film in 2027, right? So just for the IP, to get some merch, you get some advertising tie-ins. People still will buy into, as far as other products, will buy into Superman, give money to DC to market your Superman Blizzard, Supergirl KFC chicken strips, things like that. So there's still money to be made. So yes, Man of Tomorrow, I'm 90% sure that's going to come out. I don't think it's going to be a tax write-off. You go ahead and make your money, because people are just giving you money to advertise this stuff, right? So that saves that show. But Jimmy Olsen, I don't know. Multiple year contract by WB and Zack. Article people leave out. Yeah. Yeah. See, so it's two different things here. So do I believe Man of Tomorrow will be released? Yes. But do I believe it will do well? Seeing what Spider-Man just did, how it took over pop culture, just took over the entire culture of the world for Spider-Man. Again, Spider-Man's top 3. Batman, I thought Superman was up there. I mean, by the time that when Man of Steel came out 13 years ago, Superman was up there. It's still one of the most recognizable symbols, but it's not translating to the box office now, right? Right now, if I say a big 3 right now, definitely Spider-Man, Batman, and Avengers. I think those are the comic book IPs right now. That's big 3 worldwide at this point. Because you come out with those films, those are event films every time. Superman, it was an event. Everybody didn't show up. Or what it was, people showed up opening weekend. Everybody didn't come back for more and more, like they do with Spider-Man and Avengers, right? And it may be a point by the end of this year, whatever Avengers does, I think Avengers could do 1.5. Spider-Man's about to do over 2 billion, 2.2. Ain't no big 3, it's just probably big me, Spider-Man, right? Ain't no big 3. Spider-Man, Avengers, Batman. I think Superman under James Gunn's watch I don't think we can consider that like just a top 3 symbol. I don't know what James Gunn just ruined everything, right? We was going up with Snyder. Then Gunn just ruined everything. He's having a meltdown. Yeah, he already crashed out. He as soon as when you put him on the spot, because people like to say just generic stuff what they hear on Twitter, and then when you hit him with like, hey, show and prove, and they fumble. They fumble. Let's see. Yeah, homages and adaptations are 2 separate things. Yeah, I mean just simple English. Zack did a lot of homages, a lot of Easter eggs, and then there's a whole different story that can be told. And I think that's very interesting that Zack wants to do that. It's more of a stripped down. That's more of a grounded. That's your grounded, stripped down story right there. Dark Knight Returns. That's very ground level, And then you have it where, basically the story ends with him fighting like the mutant gang leader. Right? That's the big climax. It's a street brawl. You know what I'm saying? So it's just that's a low budget project. All right. You shouldn't do lanterns like that. You shouldn't do, other stuff like that. Batman can do that street level grounded thing right there. So rumors are that Man of Tomorrow may get canceled or streaming or shelving. If they stream that film, if Paramount comes in and says, let's just throw this on Paramount Plus, day 1, that would be hilarious. All I say, because I know I'm still, somewhat optimistic of a lot of things, but not gun stuff, but I give this stuff a chance. And so, like with Supergirl, you got to market this stuff to keep my attention. Supergirl, they lost me in the marketing. They lost me. I haven't seen it yet. I'll see it when it's on HBO Max. That's when I'm not paying for the digital copy of Supergirl. I'm not giving them any money for that. So the marketing and now seeing the overall response to the film, that was the one I'm glad I skipped, just like Shazam 2. I didn't go to theaters for those films. So with Man of Tomorrow, the first look of Brainiac, that may ultimately, and I think I'm already there with James Gunn. I know what I'm getting. So I don't know if I'm even put myself through that film, seeing it. But because, okay, so you have the first look at Lex, right? The Buzz Lightyear. I thought the Lex suit looked okay, but again, I get people making the comparison to Buzz Lightyear. Kind of can't unsee that now, right? With that, I thought the suit was okay, but that didn't take over the internet like Gunn thought he was going to do. Oh, check out this power suit. That didn't really break the internet, Gunn. And then I'm wondering, like, if you're going to do a first look of anything, it should have been a Brainiac concept art or something. And you didn't do that. So I think we're at the point where, you know, when Man Tomorrow comes out, it's not going to have that head of steam like they probably wanted it to be. It's no momentum in DC right now. Even if Lanterns ends up being a critically acclaimed show, that's just streaming, and I don't think the viewership would be better than Penguin. Clayface is a low-budget film. You're hoping Gen Z picks that film up. We'll see. It's not a lot of momentum going into Superman, right? So I think when we come around to 2027, you know, James Gunn, this may be... I'm gonna have to break it to you, bro. This ain't going too good, bro. This ain't going. Shout out to Mr. J. We got some great memes over the years. This is probably my favorite one. This is probably my favorite one. We gotta break it to you, Gunn. I got Zach on my side. Gotta break it to you, Gunn. This ain't going too good, bro. You're like, oh yeah, we got all these plans after Man Tomorrow. We got another Supergirl film. We got yo. David Ellison just came in. Zach doesn't know who I am. What? Zack Snyder don't know who I am. See, you see what happens when you say stuff? You don't know what you're talking about? Zack Snyder don't know me. I have a personal interview with Zack Snyder. See, I hate when people just say stuff and I don't know what they're talking about. Zack Snyder knows my channel. Who's gonna tell him? He's spazzing, bro. Oh man, he's so bad. He's just mad. That's like when they crash out. It's like, man, like just let them go. See what they do. That's why I got Zach on my side. Like, yo, good. That's hilarious, bro. That's hilarious. Man Tomorrow doesn't change the facts. The biggest flop in DC history was Supergirl. Man Tomorrow is not hitting BVS numbers. I agree with you. No, I don't think Man Tomorrow, it's not going to hit Reeves Batman Part 1 numbers. I don't think. I mean, I think you get repeat business for the most part, but I don't think it's a guarantee it gets over 700, right? And then if you Paramount coming into the building, you're like, okay, this is nice. This is a little cute super family saga. It's over now, right? It's over. Reeves Batman, I'm saying Part 2 better be like Spider-Man, because if I'm Paramount, I'm like, okay, are we going to wait another 5 years for Reeves to do another $700 million film? It's like, bro, Reeves, I'm hoping for the best, Reeves. I try to make up with your fans. They've been mad at me since 2022. I fell asleep on Part 1, bro. Okay, Penguin's dope. Your team's dope. that did Penguin. That world is great. That Gotham's great. We're giving part 2 a chance. But if I fall asleep again, Gunn, you're out of here, okay? You're out of here. Put this hand on your shoulder, bro. Get Reeves out of here. Hey, that's not my words, Reeves fans. That's not my words. I'm just reading the chat. I'm just reading the chat. Oh, man. Destroyed DCU films? Yeah, it definitely did. Listen, bro. You already lost, bro. You did not read Dark Knight Returns, okay? Let's just go back to that. So let's rewind that. So you're speaking on something you don't know. So let's let's break it to you. Y'all hilarious, bro. Reeves is too slow. Part 2 should be the last. I'm with that because I was like, okay, Reeves, because I know Reeves has a trilogy idea. Maybe it should end right here, part 2. Just make your best film possible, right? Like it's your last, because it may be. I said part 1, I couldn't believe I was there. I had like a early screening. It was like a Wednesday or something. I fell asleep in the theater. It was like midday. Like, oh my goodness. I should be ready for this film. This is Batman. That's crazy. Let's see. Reeves made a better Batman movie than Nolan and Snyder. Oh man. Oh yeah. Now you may get banned because like you speaking against Nolan. You may really get banned. You're not adding to the chat, bro. you bringing down the chat now. MCU has been destroying DC on film since 2012. Hey, no lies detected there. No. They just he went crazy with that one. That's how you knew when they crashed out. You just give them a little push. All right. Well, we're gonna slide on out of here again. Stay tuned on all the platforms. We're gonna do a Lanterns watch along. I'm gonna figure out the logistics of that, and we're just gonna see what's gonna happen with this show. Patreon. I'm gonna try to do a little show tomorrow afternoon on Patreon. Link in the description. Patreon.com/sylabdul. Any level of support, you'll get that content right there. And then we're going to see how this show turns out, y'all. From what I read today about Lanterns, if this was like a movie, I would be like, I'm not going to go pay money to watch the movie. If Lanterns was a movie. Since this is a series, I already have HBO Max. I have a great deal on HBO Max. Black Friday, I don't pay like $2 a month for HBO Max. It's a crazy deal. So I'm going to watch it. Just like Supergirl. When Supergirl comes to HBO Max, I'm going to watch it. I have HBO Max. I'm going to watch it. My hopes are not high for Lanterns. Hearing the character almost assassination they're doing with Jon Stewart and Hal Jordan, not too happy about it. Disappointed James Buns. He promised us Brave and the Bold because for the lifetime I've been waiting to see Robin in live action done right. Yeah, not going to happen. Restore the Snyderverse. Lanterns tomorrow. For better or worse, I'm leaning towards the worst. Much love to Silv Nation. Till next time.
Watchmen forever vigilant, steady watching and listening, disciplined, militant, killing these dudes that started visiting.
What's the latest word? Yo, Sil, we need to know. Tell us what you heard. Yo, Sil, we need to know. The ins and outs, who's walking out, buying in. We need to know your thoughts on what's new, what you do to stream a hell of a show. Let's go. One hell of a show. Let's go.